Aces Up is live. Fresh off a Scott Fish Bowl 16 live Boston fantasy football draft weekend, I'm your host, Joe Carlton. Before I get into what's on tap for tonight, I just want to take a minute to talk about how awesome this event was. This was my fourth live draft in Boston, and it seems to get better every single year. I want to shout out Andrew Cooper, Bob Gilchrist, Zach Reed, and the Sports Affiliation's own Kala Hazam for their efforts in coordinating this special event that feels like a good family reunion every year. We raised a ton of money for charity through some awesome raffle prizes and even auctioned off a couple of Scott Fish autographed mini helmets, with 100% of the donations going to a good cause. I got to meet Ryan Heath of Fantasy Points and show him gratitude for the amazing work he puts out. Just a wealth of information, really. Shout out to some of my favorite Boston people: Rick Avery of Fantasy Six Pack, Matt Wood, Brad Kamara of Rotoballer, my guy Heisenberg, Johnny Main from The Fantasy Football Show, and Michael Reedy of Fantrax. It was awesome hanging out with you guys again. Tonight, my guest is Duke Viveros. We had Duke on a couple months ago, and we learned all about his love for poker and fantasy football. We will get a summary of Duke's experiences from this year's 2026 World Series of Poker, including events played and his results. For the fantasy football discussion, we will be bringing in Joey Brown and Mike Gamberg, a.k.a. the Gambergula, and we will have a freestyle discussion with topics including player shares, builds we like in 2026, and ADP movement. Please like, subscribe, and share. Drop your questions and comments in the chat. Episode 48, Aces Up. Let's go. All right, Dookie, welcome back to Aces Up. Pleasure to have you. How's your evening going today?
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me back on your show again. Having a great time, living the dream, and I'm looking forward to tonight's show.
Nice. All right, so last time we had you on a couple months ago, we talked all about your poker background, how you got involved playing. We know you told us you were going out to the World Series of Poker. You were playing some events there, other various tournaments in the Vegas, other casinos. So why don't you tell us about all your summer of poker?
I think you bringing me on the show a couple of days before I went out to WSP brought me a great deal of luck, like your previous co-host that you had, and she went on and won a lot of money. And I'm telling you, Joe, I just went on a rush of a lifetime at the most perfect time out there.
Nice.
I ran deep in 2 World Series of Poker tournaments. The first one was the $1,500 entry Omaha. There was 889 players, massive field. I did well day one. I made day one. I came back with 118,000 in chips. Average stack was about, I think, 88,000. Pretty good, pretty good spot. And then the first level, I just couldn't catch any cards. I got a couple bad beats. Next thing I know, we're on the bubble for 3,000. I think it was 3,300 for a min cash, 3,300 on there. And I have 2 big blinds left. So now I'm thinking, God, I'm trying to hang on and get, $3,300 here. And I somehow survived that. And then for the next 6 hours on that day 2 there, I was just barely chipping up, but I just basically keep my head above water and survive as people are getting eliminated. Next thing I know, I start catching cards. I catch a few big hands. The next thing you know, I'm looking up, and at one point in the World Series of Poker, on there. I was number 4 overall for the championship for Omaha. Number 4 on the board.
A chip leader. Yeah, it was a
So,
chip
I'm right there. I think I had 388,000 in chips.
How many people are left at this point?
Now there's, at that point, I think there's 50 left. I'm in the money, but I think there's 50 some players left. First place, I forgot, 300 some thousand. I think was the first. I mean, crazy money. Right. But I'm playing well. Then I take a couple bad beats, and now the blinds I think were like 15,000, 30,000. I mean, they're up there. I mean, they're up there. But a good chunk of your chips going to go in if you go to battle.
If you play, yeah.
And listen, I survived. I got all the way up to 30th overall, and then which is good money. It was like a little under $6,000 already guaranteed, wrapped up on that one. And then I got dealt the nut flush in Omaha, and then the guy hit runner on Full House and knocked me out. And that was 30 minutes before making day 3, the final, the final day, the following day. So it's not a bad beat. I mean, it's poker. It's part of poker. It's it's just the way it goes. I was super, super happy. I grinded Joe for what, 26 hours out of in between 34 to the other 4 hours that I just slept in. So I did really, really well on that, and I was super proud of that effort to play against just everywhere you look. Negreanu, Mattisals, Phil, everybody. They're right there. I had the world champion Chris Hunchkin 3 years ago. Hunchkin, I'm butchering his last name. Nicest guy in the world on there. I was living my fantasy dream. Playing against guys and beating them and doing well, and I cashed. So that was about a week after I first arrived in Vegas. I moved to my condo, and I played in 3 tournaments prior to that, and I cashed all 3 of those tournaments, 1,500 a pop, 1,800 a pop, 1,300 a pop, double and tripling my entry fees for those tournaments. Then I cashed there, and then 3 days later I go play the Aria. I don't know if have you played Aria before?
No, I have not.
Magnificent, absolutely magnificent. And it's a really big event. The trophy, just beautiful bronze statue trophy, and it was the toe event. Toe is deuce to 7 triple draw, Omaha, and stud 8. Every 6 hands it rotates.
Right.
Okay, it rotates, and in that tournament, I was playing well. I'm playing well. Just average. We started with 25,000 in chips. I got between 25 and 30,000. Just hanging around, really not doing a whole lot. People are getting eliminated. I'm not even thinking. It's such a long way to go to get into the money. I think it paid 19 spots in that tournament, and I got down to 15 and 20,000 with about 40 people left now. Not a whole lot of chips left. A couple blinds. I got in there, and I kept hanging around. I'm just barely hanging on. And then we're on the bubble, and I still 15, 20,000, 25. Mind you, everybody else has got 150,000, 180,000, over 100,000. I'm at the bottom of this tournament, but I'm hanging, and so I get in the money, Joe. And then I won a couple little hands, nothing major, but I got like about 100,000 in chips now. And next thing you know it, I'm on the final table with the other. We did a final table of 7 players. It was 6-handed on each table. It was 7 players. We condensed to 7 players. I have about 100,000 chips. Chip leader had about 800, 900,000, and 2 or 3 other guys had like 600,000 in chips, and everybody else had like about between 300,000 and 400,000 in chips. I was the lowest in chips. Right. And then here we go. I just took off. Usually it's the other way around where I get a bad beat. I get a final table, whatever. The poker gods are smiling on me, and I just got card after card after card after card. And next thing you know, I got close to 1 million chips. Actually, I went over 1 million chips. We're all the way down to 3 people now, and I have 1.9 million in chips. My friend Manju Guerra, fantastic poker player, she has 900,000 in chips, and there were some guys from overseas, some Spaniard, young kid, really super aggressive. He had 1.2 million in chips on there, and the prize at the time was 19,000, 13,000, and 9,000 for first, second, and third. And then we all looked at each other like, this is kind of stupid. We're making 5-figure money here if you want to do a chop now. And so which everyone agreed to. I mean, it was like a no-brainer. So I had the most chips. And so I won the tournament, and I got 15,000 in cash in that tournament. It was
nice. How'd you chop? You doing like an equity chop based on chip count? Or
ICM. It's called an ICM, and they crunch the numbers with your chips, and that's the amount that you get.
By chip count. Yeah.
I mean, 15,000, 19,000. And mind you, I mean, and at that time the blinds were 60,000, 120,000. I mean, it's crazy. You can flip that. So I took down that tournament.
I was going to say, at that point, it's anybody's game, really.
I don't care. You can have 300,000 chips. I mean, you win 2 hands in a row, you're chip leader.
Yeah, when the blinds, that's why it's key that you hung around, because once the blinds get up there, all it takes is those 2 or 3 hands in a row, and
I can't tell you how many times people win with the lowest amount of chips on a final table, and they come and win because it's just so high. So I'm super happy. We played till 5 in the morning. So I got all this money on me, and then I immediately go for the next 3 days in a row. I cash again. 3,000, 2,000. I go the day before the 2,500 OE championship at World Series. I played a torse event at Golden Nugget downtown, and we chopped it 5 ways, and I got 7,100 in that tournament, and we didn't end till almost 6 o'clock in the morning there. So I got all this money in my condo, and I'm freaking out with all this money. So every day I'm running the bank, and I'm depositing $9,900. And then I'm hiding my money all over in my condo. So I can go to the bank again the next day. That's how crazy and just stupid it was, doing that. And so, I got maybe 4 hours sleep. We played till 6 o'clock in the morning, and tournament started at 2 or 3 in the afternoon. WSOP $2,500 entry fee on the Omaha Stud 8. So that was the one that I circled on my calendar that was the one I wanted to do really well in on there. I think my strong point in poker is Stud 8 in Omaha. That's where I can talk crap. I know what I'm doing when it comes to those 2 games. So we start out, and it just never happened to me, Joe. All levels are 40 minutes. Level 1, I was chip leader. Level 2, the whole tournament, there was, I think, 600 and some people in this 630 something. A lot of people. $2,500 buy-in, mind you.
Yeah.
On there.
So
every level we played 15 levels the first day, all the way till 2 in the morning. 15 40-minute level. That's a lot of poker on there.
It is.
I was chip leader first, second, or third overall, all first 14 levels. I was just playing on an unbelievable level. I lost a couple of hands at the end, no biggie. I made day 1, and I was 21st overall. I'm in an amazing spot. I mean, I had I 183,000 in chips, going into day 2 on there. It paid 70 or 75 people got paid. I wasn't worried about it. I mean, I had a lot. I mean, you always worry, but I was in a good spot. So I got a little bit of sleep. I come back for day 2, Joe, and I just getting clubbed, just getting rivered, and just next thing you know, I'm looking down, and I got like 3 big blinds again, and they're like 5 people away from the money again. I mean, that's poker for you, that's just the way it goes. But then I hit a big hand on there, and then I got back right in the hunt again. And next thing you know, I got like 260,000 in chips, and I'm rolling right along. It was 75 people that cashed, and next thing you know, I'm all the way up to I'm number 50 overall in the World Championship. 50. I mean, against the best, you can imagine on there. And then again there, I had a flush again, and the guy hit a king on the river for King's Full and knocked me out of the tournament. But I think I got like 5,600 in that tournament too. So all in all, Joe, for 34 days, I won over $40,000 in 30 some days. So it was just an amazing trip.
Nice. Aces up. Aces up.
Aces up.
Under your ass,
tip of the hat. Tip of the hat. It was just. I had never seen anything like it. What a time to get hot. At the biggest stage, playing against these folks. And I had the time. I actually left my condo a week early because I was done mentally. I was spent. And I don't want to enter just to enter. I said I'm happy. I couldn't be better, and I got back in my car, and I was walking through my door 3 hours later. And that was it. And that was the best experience I ever had. Ever. I mean, I had 3 years ago, I won like 60,000 too, but this one here I think was more special.
Nice. That's awesome, Duke. That's. I'm glad that you went out there and you tore it up and you ran well, you played well. Sounds like a great time, man. I'm happy that Aces Up could get you going. Yes. I feel I've only had two. I've done 2 poker shows and shortly after both guests gone on a tear. So. That's pretty cool. Run. My wife jokes with me. She's like, "So when are you going to go on somebody else's poker podcast?" I'm like, I start laughing. I'm like, "Yeah, I know, right?"
Well, I'm hoping with your show right now, being on your show tomorrow at 1:00, I'm playing at the Bike in LA in a tournament, and then I'm playing at the Bike on Thursday in another tournament, and then I'll be at the Bike the next 2.5 weeks playing mixed game tournaments, Joe, and then August 20th, I'm heading back out to the Wynn. I'll be playing 3 days. I'm going to come home for 3 days, going back out to Vegas, playing at Caesar's Palace in the mixed tournament championship. And then when football comes around on September 4th through the 14th, my first 3 days I'm going to be playing at the Wynn again. And then that Friday, the 4th through the 10th, that Friday all the way through Monday, I'll be doing 10 drafts for fantasy football at the Circa and at Caesar's Palace.
I love that, James. 15% cut. I'll settle for a primetime entry.
Yeah, it's a fun time right now for sure.
Nice, awesome. So Jacob asked in the chat. This is Josh Bowling's boy. He asked if I competed in World Series of Poker events. I've done 2 shorthanded no limit hold'em events, $2,500 buy-ins. Nothing special. I could have had a chance at playing in the World Series of Poker main event. I took the cash in the jersey instead. I couldn't make it. I decided for some reason I didn't. I was young and stupid. We'll just leave it at
that. Listen, it's something that you want to do at least one time. I mean, just walking in there at the Paris Horseshoe Center, there's just millions. You can barely see the carpet on the floor. There's so many poker players just walking around, like millions of ants everywhere, just playing poker. And you got
the chips, the sound of the chips shuffling and
everything. Shuffling of the chips. Floor. You're seeing all the poker players that you see everywhere. It's just an amazing feeling just to go through that, experience that. And then if you're fortunate enough to get in a run, and catch chips, accumulate chips, and and then making day 2, and doing all that. What a feeling! It's just a great experience.
Anybody interview you while you were out there? Did you get any interviews?
No, I got interviewed. I was in 3 or 4 articles, in big hands clashing, with people. That's normal, every year.
Yeah. They always report the hands. Yeah, it's pretty.
As in Poker News, I'm in like 3 or 4 talked about hands that we had on there, but. Man, what a rush!
All right, so you said you're going to be playing some while you're out there for the fantasy football draft.
So for fantasy I was going to go Friday for the first Friday night. I might do the first prime time there, that Friday night circuit. I'm not sure, but the 3 days prior to that, the Wynn has 3 mixed game championships on that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I just booked additional 3 days on top of my original 10 days when I'm going for all for fantasy football out there. So I'll be there for 2 weeks. I'll do that first Friday. I'm going to do 2 prime times at the Circa, and I'm doing my Silver Bullet. That's already filled up on that Saturday. Wednesday, I'm doing 2 prime times live, and then I'm doing 10 prime times, 2 classics, and a Silver Bullet during that time.
Nice. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well. Congratulations on the successful poker year.
Yes, that was very nice.
We'll bring on our other guests, Joey Brown and Michael Gamberg now, and we'll jump right into fantasy football. That's what most of the crowd is here for.
It's all about football now, baby. All about football. Poker's moved to the side now. So
I was going to say, you said you're playing in LA in the next couple of days, you said?
Tomorrow. I'll be there at 1:00.
All right. Now everybody knows the coast is clear. Everybody's going to get the NFCs are going to fill up like crazy tomorrow. The next night. Duke's on LA.
Tomorrow night we got the Beat Frank Amarante draft. Me and Frank and Steve are going to be live streaming that on
nice.
Steve's
I'll check
channel.
it out whenever I get back.
Yeah. Looking
No,
forward
dude,
to-
he can multitask. He can probably play cards and draft at the same time.
I could.
I'm sure he can.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of folding, so yeah, why not?
I did 2 drafts at the same time with Nelson just a couple days ago. We did at the 10 p.m. drafts. I did 2 at the same time.
You were doing, yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's all good.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Nice. All right, so I wanna jump into player shares. We'll start with player shares. You said you got 29 OCs in, Duke.
Yep.
Tell us, give us some of the players that you're drafting the most, and tell us why.
Well, my most number of shares are majority are backups. The backup, number 2. I mean, and that's I can tell you I have 29 teams. I have 4 players with 50% share, the backup that I think might be able to do something. It's a long shot. Yeah. We all do it. The Kalen Blacks, I mean, whatever, the running backs, whoever, later 14th, 15th, 16th round type thing.
Guys, not everybody really pays attention to.
Marshawn Lloyd's, 12th round to the 15th round, those kind of guys. Those are my high share. My target player, I call my target players are players that I draft rounds 3 through 10. Those are my target. I mean, 1, 2 is no brainers. I mean, whatever, usually the first, second rounds. But those are the guys I target. And I like the guys. We all have our favorites, and hopefully, when I'm all said and done, my goal is 81 to 100 onlines this year. That's going to be my goal that I'm going to have. I'm going to have 81 will be my lowest, and we'll see how I'm doing. And then my goal to
how many OCs are you out to do? What's the max?
There is no max.
What?
That I know of. There's no max. I mean, I know I'm one of the most.
I think there is a max.
Well, I mean, if there is, I
think because they get.
I've never heard of anybody exceeding the max. Put it that
right.
way. So I don't know.
So when you say 81, is that 81 OCs or is that just combination between them?
Oh, no. I'm talking OCs only. Nothing to do with prime time, classic, silver bullets, nothing on there. I actually, my highest amount was 3 years ago. I had 108 OCs 3 years ago on there. So to me, the OC is my bread and butter for making money. More than anything else, it's the OCs. My plan is if I have 100 teams, my goal is out of those 100 to have 35 to 40 teams in the sprint. If I have 35, 40 teams in the sprint, I know I've already got my money back. You've already made money. The sprint hasn't even started. Now it's all gravy the rest of the way on there. So I heard you guys talking, Joe, about volume. You got, how many teams, and I look again as an investment. It's like I'm building my army right now, right? I'm just day after day after day, and then come week 1, I'm unleashing my army of ants of 80 to 100 into the field. And if 30 of these guys out of the 80, it's just 25, 30 can make it to a 3-week sprint, I'm at a major advantage compared to people that only have 1 or 2 bullets. They got 1 or 2 bullets out of a 357 of a revolver or 6, put 6 bullets. I got a long extended clip with nothing but bullet after bullet after bullet with various different teams. So my chances would go up on there. But listen, you got to win. Number one, it's not easy to sound. We're all drafters. We all know how to draft and pick our team. We know how hard it is to try to get first or second place just to make the sprint. It's not easy. You have to be lucky and good combination to get that, because majority of everybody in this room, you're already good. You guys are savvy drafters. You guys know what you're doing, but you have to have a little luck on your side too to go along with it.
Yeah,
that's one thing I've said too. I said, I know we all look at the big prize, and I get that. Right. But you got to get that $1,500 prize or $700 prize to play for that $300,000. I mean, it's just, if you do good in your league, it's going to set you up in the shootout anyway.
For the last 5 or 6 years, I haven't even paid anything. All I do, I just roll over my teams for the following year. So I avoid taxes, and everything else. Where I just break, I have to pay taxes. I just roll them over. Like all my prime time this year, I just turned them all I had 14 online. I won 14 onlines last year. So I rolled over 10 prime times. I look at it as for free for the following year.
$350 entry into
it hasn't. I got 10 prime times and it cost me $1. Yeah, that's the way I look at it. It just sits there. So the OCs are my bread and butter that I love.
You play any confined leagues at all?
Sure.
Any of the
Say that again. I'm sorry. What, Michael?
Any of the confined leagues, like the diamonds or the whatever?
No, every now and then
You
I'll
just
do a
want to do
5,000 league or
tournaments.
$2,500 league. Actually, I did a $2,500 league last year, and both my first two players were out for the year with injuries.
Right, but you're mostly the tournaments, going for the tournaments.
Yeah, I go for the big ones. Now.
Are you going to try that new FFWC one where you can, if you win that in the prime, you get the $1 million? Are you going to do any of that this year?
I'm probably not. I always would do. For the last 5 years, I always do 2 main event teams from FFWC back then. I just don't like the build. I don't like the way it's set up. And I'm not bad mouthing. I just didn't like it compared to NFFC. I didn't like the way 4 teams make it, and I just wasn't my cup of tea, I guess I can say. And I'm probably not. I mean, the $1 million. I mean, talk about a carrot. I mean, that's a big carrot to go after $1 million. But no. I guess my answer is going to be no. I'm not. I'm not going to do any FFWC main event teams.
Yeah, I didn't like their website either. As far as I just didn't like how it's set up.
I don't know. It just wasn't set up for me.
It's not third round reversal, is it?
No throw and no 3-round reversal. No. So
is it a mandatory 3 wide receivers?
And Michael, see that's the big thing, and I would always complain about it. To the super who was running the show over there, I go, you need to make it a 3-round reversal. And every single time in a main event, or even I would do like about 5 OCs too. Every single time I would get picked 10 or 11 or 12. Every single time. And you're already behind the 8 ball because now the guys on the 2-3
turn, I say 100%.
They got such a major advantage on the 2-3 turn.
If you could have if the NFC wasn't third round reversal, the guys that have 1 through 5 have a distinct advantage.
1,000,000%.
That's what exactly.
1,000,000%. So
the type of players that are doing it, distinct.
So they're keeping their structure, their league rules carrying over to NFFC, and so if they did a 3-round reversal, I might do 1 or 2. If it was a 3-round reversal, but they're not. So I'm just staying away. Heck, I'm having a hard time now in NFFC with our KDS. I've done 2019. I haven't got number 1 yet in 2019. Not once.
Me either, yeah.
Not once.
We were talking about that earlier.
And I can't get 1 or 2.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Every single online OC that we watch, who gets picks 1 through 4 every single time? Nelson. Every time. Every time he gets picks 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like enough already. Enough. I know he got out of the 10 holes twice.
He's got the Greek goddess with him.
Yeah, as poker goes, he's running good right now with KDS.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
100%.
No, sometimes who gets number 1, the guy who forgets to set his KDS, and it's all right.
The donkey at the table. Yeah,
that definitely factors in as well.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something, dude. I would do this. I told Joe and them. I know. Say you get multiple number 1 picks. Are you taking Chase? I am at least once.
I will not.
You ain't going to.
I will always. I'll flip flop between the 2 running backs.
Okay, I was just wondering.
I'll flip flop. If I got pick 3, I'm taking Chase 100 out of 100 times. If I got pick 4, I'm taking Puka 100 out of 100 times.
Yeah, Joe. You got to remember, Duke's doing 100 drafts. He's why don't you ask him if the silver bullet number 1 pick? Who you taking? Is it still a running back, or would you consider?
Well, I got to tell you, as of right now, and I've heard people different opinions, which is great. That's why we play fantasy football, and that's why we love KDS. I love picking at the back end of the draft more than I like the front end of the draft right now. So
I've always had
me too. Yeah. I agree with that.
Maybe it'll change, maybe it won't, but I mean, we've been doing this long enough now. It's not going to change a whole lot. It'll be a little ADP, whatever movement one way or the other, but it's kind of almost not set in stone. But the cement's getting hard as far as where all these players are going. Rounds 1 through 10 right now. So.
Right.
All right.
The only thing I noticed, I just pulled up too, because we've been. Now that you're starting to draft, I did a lot of drafts with you last year. I remember a couple lately. I just noticed on you got the 5. I guess you're higher on St. Brown than JSN right now, or is that just a?
Yes.
I am.
No, I
you took
I purposely my KDS. Yeah, my KDS Michael was 5. I wanted to target Ahmad Brown, and I have 5 shares of him now.
So you prefer him over JSN at the moment?
I have not one single share of JSN. Now I'm such a volume drafter. Right. I'm not a dummy either. I'm gonna get JSN on a
right.
couple right. You know, right. I mean, I'll get them on there, but I'm not targeting JSN at 5.
I think Amon Ross was almost the safest pick in the first round.
You know what? I mean, that's the word. He's the safest pick. I mean, my goodness, he's number 4 wide receiver 3 years in a row.
I know, it's awesome. I love it.
And then and throw on the fact the Lions have the best schedule this year. They're atrocious. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. I think he's just going to be a monster out there this year.
I tell you what, I took him at 4, Duke. I passed up.
You know what, Joey? I'm not saying that's not a bad idea. You know, Puka and his knee. I mean, who knows? You know, I mean, that's not out of the realm at all.
I did. I took him
at all.
I had number 4, and I took him at 4.
If you, Joey, I think you mentioned 9 teams. You're looking at having 9 teams.
Probably.
I heard you say that number. What you just said makes perfect sense to take Ahmad 4 if we have a share of Puka.
I'm not. These guys know. You see me draft. I pull my guys up. I think that's why I like how you draft. I mean, you just take your guys. I mean, I don't care.
100%. 100%.
I don't.
Yeah.
I like that, Joe, because I had one draft where I had the number 5 pick, and I already had a St. Brown share, and I was thinking to myself, man, if Puka happens to fall to me at 5, I'm not really on Puka this year. I don't know why. For some reason I feel like you know, he's going to miss games. You know, the thing in the off season kind of worries me a little bit. You know, if something happens to Matt Stafford, you know, he's no spring chicken. You know, what happens to that offense? So I'm a little. I think he comes with some risk, and I thought to myself, if JSN doesn't fall and I don't get to have a share of him, I think I'm going to take St. Brown here again. You know, over Puka. So I like your decision. You know, the decision you made there. Like you said, he's safe.
I tell you something else too. It could be one of these that their defense is so good. They may blow you out in the first half, and then okay, we're done.
Second half, bye, handing the ball off. You know, it'll be the 2-headed monster running back, and
Kyron and Corum both got
absolutely, absolutely can happen. Yep. So no, it's a little scary.
You came in your first draft, the first draft you were in, I was in with you. It wasn't. Did you have any sleep that day? That day, it wasn't.
Well, what did I draft? What did I do?
Your first draft just was. It was like, yeah, this is Duke's friend, and then you got then it completely changed.
Oh, you're 100%. My first 2 drafts were terrible. They're horrible. I was
Duke. I said, Duke's giving us a break here, man.
My first 2 drafts, I'm telling you right now, they're terrible. They were my what do you call them? My pawns in the game of chess. You know, they got killed right away. Those first 2 teams. They're terrible.
You were a poker line. You got to.
You don't know yet. I mean, I didn't. You know, where people are going. You know, and this and that. That's just. I mean, it's part of the game. You know.
These are the Duke drafts that I see. What the way you're back in the stride.
Yeah. Now, I mean,
we caught a break if we got in early. I got in.
If you got in early,
but I just noticed Joey and I were saying this. You know, it wasn't.
A bad draft.
I would have never guessed it was you.
Most.
Yeah, those first 2 drafts. I took Josh Allen.
You didn't take a wide receiver till I think the 6th round or 5th round, right?
The first two drafts,
and you never do that.
They're done. I mean,
hey,
look,
but then they'll probably win, Duke. You never know. Anything doesn't matter how it looks on the scorecard. If it cashes, it cashes, right?
100%. All I care about is getting in the dance. That's all. Exactly. That's all. I don't care. Yeah. I don't even care about first place or second. I don't care if the wild card team. Just get me in the dance. Give me a shot at the big money. Is what I want to do, and that's how I draft. You know, I draft a lot of players. I mean, you see me, draft and but I mix it up too. I'm going to mix it up a whole lot more too. But I think I have an advantage because I do so much drafting. Or other people doing their first draft, like Chris Vaccaro did his first draft last night, where have a pretty good idea. Players that I'm going to get 3 rounds later, 4 rounds later, I know I'm going to get them. I'm watching people. Joey, you made a comment last night about Valentine not being in the draft that I'm at a disadvantage. It's the opposite, my friend.
That's what I thought.
I am at a major advantage because I know exactly who he's getting every single time. I don't need to get that quarterback here and now or whatever, tight end or whatever. I don't care, any position skill player, because I know he's not going to get him. I already know based on the cue. It's going in order. I know he's not going to get that player. So I got some players last night that I thought that I shouldn't have got.
It probably was to your advantage.
It's not a disadvantage. People go, God damn, he's got 5 quarterbacks. Well, that's going to be a you problem if you don't adjust to that and take your quarterback a round or round and a half earlier because of somebody not showing up in the room. That's a you problem if you don't correct that mistake.
And the same thing with that guy Manny. The guy drafted, Hampton, Walker, Love, or if he can get Henry every draft, I fall next to him. I'm happy as can be. Now he's going to win. He's going to win 1 through 50 if those 3 hit. But that's this. The odds better.
Yeah, he does. He does that. Listen, it's tough. You can win, man, but it's tough. It's tough.
He doesn't take. I'm taking a wide receiver I want, and when he's got to take his wides. The running backs are full of it. I was next to him, I think, twice in the last 3 drafts I was in.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure because you know what he's doing.
Yeah.
I wanted to mention something Josh threw in the group chat last night about some of these drafts where you're involved with an auto drafter and maybe they get 4 or 5 tight ends or 3 or 4 quarterbacks. Pay attention to the week 1, week 2 waiver wires because they're probably going to have to cut some guys that and it's going to provide value. Guys that should be rostered are going to be dropped. It was a great point that Josh made in the group chat. So, you do like 100 drafts. I would give this one a little star, make a note, a little memo, whatever, to remember that this was the auto draft and maybe definitely need to be paying attention a little extra to the drops.
For sure.
Yes. Just want to throw that.
He was a guy that goes to New York. I think he just fell asleep. It wasn't.
Listen,
Ramon's a good drafter.
Ramon's one of the nicest guys you can ever meet. I've been drafting him in Vegas live for 20 some years. He knows what he's doing. The guy he craps.
Fell asleep. It happens.
Yeah.
He's not like a new guy. He's been around for a long time. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. It happens. He just fell asleep.
He's a sharp player too. He's
a great guy. Great guy.
I had to call Ginsburg just stay awake before we drafted. I knew I get on the phone. I'm not used to these night owls. This is awful.
Oh yeah, I had to keep Joey on, but it paid off for him.
Yeah, last night's draft. Was that the one where we got our 3 tight ends in the 9th round? All I think elite tight ends.
You got the board, Joe. You have the board. You want to share the screen?
Ginsburg probably got it there.
I think I got Tucker Kraft in the 9th round.
I don't even notice. I'm
not
tech savvy.
The little monitor down the bottom. Click on that and then follow there's a monitor with a plus sign at the bottom of your screen.
Right, and then what? Share screen?
Yeah, follow the instructions. You should be able to take it from there.
I'll take something. Mine's still low volume, but where I've drafted more teams, I was telling Joe them, I said, it's a little bit tougher for me because I'm like, okay, I don't want to take the same player, so I kind of mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah,
not a whole lot, but just
a little bit. Tweaks, make a little bit tweaks, but not a whole lot. Right. In doing that,
like sometimes I've been going like running back, wide receiver, then pan wide receiver, and sometimes I've been taking Ballards in the 2nd round.
You got to add it to the studio, Mike, and then I bring it on.
What I click? Share screen.
Share screen. Yeah, and then.
Okay.
And then pick the window or where however you have it open. Yeah, there it is. It's on there. All right.
You can bring it up. All right, I'm learning now. I'm learning.
Nice. There we go. Can you see that, dude?
Yeah, I got Tucker Kraft towards the end of the 9th round, which you don't see that a lot.
That's a nice one.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah, I went running back heavy, but after I got my 3 number 1 wide receivers, so again, like Joey said, you make some tweaks. I made a tweak there going with Judkins there. Usually I would snap calling Josh Downs, as you guys know. I like Josh Downs. But Ricky Pearsall, whatever. But I just changed. I purposely did it to go with I'll take a shot with Quinton Judkins. Maybe he can be all that this year. It's not going to hurt to find out. And I'm getting him at a somewhat of a discount in the middle, almost the middle of the 6th round.
Yeah, you did the Green Bay stack. I really like that. The offense is condensed down now. I really do think that they're going to let Jordan Love open it up a little bit because of this. It kind of it simplifies the offense. He's got, maybe less, maybe the playbook is a little bit simpler.
Joe, who you brought on Rabbit? I haven't met the gentleman, but Rabbit was one of the guests. Or
Rabbit Dad. Yeah, Rabbit
I could not disagree with him more on him not liking Matthew Golden on there.
Yeah, I agree too. I'm in on Golden, especially where
I about fell out of my chair. The one person that's going to know, you want to talk to Greg Ambrosius, my friend. And all he does is rave about Matthew Golden with this year, with all the additional targets that are available now with 2 right now. Man, I mean, I'm drafting Golden in front of Jalen Reed now. I agree. But listen, there's nothing wrong with having both of them too in the 7th, 8th, 9th round. Because it's not going to hurt your team, and you just need one of those 2 guys to come through on there. And let alone look who I got in the 3rd round. I got Christian Watson, who I think he's going to be a really, really good player this year. But
you got the quarterbacks with you got Stafford with he gives you options there. You got 2 options.
Yeah.
I got to shout out Big Draft Energy. He made that post today. 6 teams in the NFL that have over 100 vacated targets. Packers was on the list. I replied to him that was the team that excited me the most because I think it means better fantasy production for everybody involved.
Yes.
Right? Somebody's going to step up the wide receiver too. It's good. It sounds like I'm in on Matthew Golden. I don't think Jaden Reed makes it out.
Stay on the field long enough.
He doesn't make it out of 3 wide receiver sets. We know what happens when they try to give him increased volume. He just gets banged up. So I think he's going to have a role, of course, and he'll be productive, some weeks. But I just think as a whole, the offense is condensed, and it's a condensed version, and that leads to more fantasy production, especially with all the vacated targets. I mean,
Joe, talk about. I always look for upside. The players that I draft that I think has potential upside to win. What would happen if the Packers actually get a full year out of Jordan Love, out of Christian Watson, out of Jaden Reed, with no injuries? Now with all these vacated targets, they could just absolutely explode. We all gamble. We all take our chances. But to me, that's an upside pick to go after the players like that. It's not costing you a 3rd round, a 4th round, a 5th round. We're talking about a 7th through 9th round pick for these 2 wide receivers that we're talking about right now. Where they can be, number 2/3 wide receivers the whole football season, type thing. I think those type of players are worth taking a gamble on going after that. Mind you, every single one of the players, they're hurt. They've been injured. We'll give the kid a break. Last year, Matthew Cole, he's a rookie. He's got growing pains. It's going to take time. And he goes, Rabbi, he didn't do nothing last year. Well, Jesus, he's a kid. He's a rookie. He's learning in. He's got 4 wide receivers in front of him. The guy's multi-talented. He's a 1st round pick. Let the kid grow. My God, how Peyton Manning and Troy Aikman look in their first year. They're miserable. They're horrible.
I remember Aikman's first year.
And then
big jump this
year. Got it killed this first
year. And then you got Tucker Kraft, probably going to be eased in at the beginning of the year. There's no way they want to jeopardize losing him.
No.
It's one thing I like it.
It's a team I've been when I saw that last night, I was like, I like that. We got a Green Bay stack. That's nice.
And one thing I look at too, like with the stack, who wouldn't want any players in that one division? That should be fantasy gold division shootouts. The Lions.
Packers, do you see any 14? You're right, Joey. Do you see any 14 to 10 games in that division? I don't. I see some high scoring games everywhere you look.
I do too. The only time that you might see any slow, based on Chicago weather or Green Bay weather in the long down the road.
Sure, that's down the road,
right. But far as if Kyler Murray gives you anything in Minnesota, you got
that
Brand
playoff,
new.
that Green Bay Chicago playoff game that we got last year. If the games are anything like that, I mean, geez, fantasy points galore.
But then you correct that decision by taking Matthew Stafford to go with Puka, whatever, down that stretch. Or you take another quarterback, whoever it might be, Mayfield to go, with Ibuka, you Cowboy stat, whatever it might be. Take two. I mean, we discussed this on the show a couple months ago. I draft 3 quarterbacks sometimes, every time, just because of reasons like that, along with injuries. I can't tell you how many times the last couple of years, Joe Burrow, and that's all I need. Well, how have your teams done the last couple of years with Joe Burrow as your quarterback? And again, I love Joe Burrow. I drafted Joe Burrow for the very first time a couple of days ago. Out of my 2019s, I got him in the 7th round, and I got my first share of Joe Burrow. But I think I got 2 other quarterbacks to go along with him, though, too.
And I'll tell you, too, somebody else, I love him. I love Herbert. How many times have we seen him wear a glove on his hand? He gets hit on his fingers every year. He's almost like freaky like Joe Burrow. They're both about the same.
I mean, to my grave, I'm taking 2 elite quarterbacks. I consider elite, top 10 quarterbacks in every single draft. I will do that every single draft. I can. As you can see, all my builds were going to be my first 9 picks. You rarely ever see a quarterback. It's going to be nothing but running backs and wide receivers and 1 tight end. In what order I choose to make.
Especially now, I feel like a lot of people are doing the double tap, and that's causing them to drop to that range. Well, because it's more convenient. The more people that do it, the more convenient it is to push to see how far you can push it and how far it goes. I feel like a lot of them are dropping. Caleb Williams, Joe, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts. These guys were never as far down as they are.
Look at the paint. Look at the board here. Don't look at Team 3 because that was auto picks. But look at the board, and this is a reflection of the 29 drafts that I've been where quarterbacks are not going early anymore. So you can you're a fool not to take. I take a quarterback, rounds 9 through 12, 10 through 12, and I double tap because the rest of my team, my core, my foundation's set. Now I got to get the main piece of meat. But I'm getting 2 filet mignons that go the rest of my guys to feed those the ball. That's my thought process.
Let me ask you this, Duke. In some of the bigger drafts, or as we get closer to the end of August, do you think the quarterbacks will move up at all, or you think you feel like this is something that's going to stay all the way through?
I think they're going to move up slightly, but not as much. This is a weird year for quarterback. Usually there's so many early. I mean, Jalen Hurts in the 4th round, last year. I mean, we can go on and on and on.
I think people might get a little more aggressive about some of the quarterbacks that they want to zero in on.
I do. I mean, and the way I look at it, like if I'm going to take a Burrow, and I might do it in a prime time, I'll take Burrow if I see him when they're in the 7th round. I'll do it, knowing that you're sacrificing a number 3 wide receiver on your team or your second starting running back on your team. So you have to make adjustments accordingly, and then take a flyer layer on a running back like a Corum or a Dobbins or something like that to try to offset that because you paid such a high price to get Burrow. So now the question comes to mind: was that worth it, or am I better off with Purdy and Goff 4 rounds later and just loading up and firing away? So that's the question you got to ask yourself, And so, if you have Jamar Chase, then I'm pulling the trigger on Burrow, in the 7th round.
Right.
Then I would do it. So it all depends. Each individual draft, nothing's set in stone. I go whatever the way the board's telling me, how it goes, how the players I'm going to.
Right. Yeah. You get a feel. You got to get a feel for the quarterbacks. I noticed the same thing with the tight ends. Like after Colston Loveland goes, even Colston Loveland slid a little bit. I noticed he was going like consistently in the 4th round, and now he's making it to the 5th round in some drafts. I know Joey's got the latest, the lowest ADP there. He got him in the 6th round. But the tight ends after that, like guys like Fannin, Pitts, Laporta, these guys were going, like Fannin was going in the 6th round. Laporta was like the 7th. Now they're down in the 9th and 10th, so they're starting to slide a little bit.
They're going to go 7th, 8th, 9th round. The biggest question for me, do you gamble on Warren? I feel fortunate. I got Warren at 6'4". is Warren going to be that much of an elite tight end compared to Fannin, Kraft, or Laporta? Is he going to average 1.5 more points regular season more? He'll average 13 points a game. Those guys say 11 and a half. Was it worth that price to get Tyler Warren there? And how many times have you heard kind of regret after I said, maybe I should have passed on Warren because those quarterbacks, those tight ends are going 4 rounds later, where I could have so and so and so and so. So that's something that I look at.
The narrative is Michael Pittman's not there, so there's that somebody's got to catch the ball. I mean, you get Josh Downs.
Josh Downs, Parker Washington, Quentin Johnson, Chris Godwin. Any of those guys are going to be just fantastic players. I mean, they can. I mean, of course, they could be a bust too, but those players I'm taking chances on. In the sixth round, I'm pulling the trigger on those players for sure.
Yeah, Ty Warren definitely carries risk, and then you get.
And don't get me wrong, I love Tyler Warren. I love
what happens if Daniel Jones isn't 100%, or he gets hurt and misses time?
Yeah, we have to do that. And Colston Loveland is so talented, but I look at it, there's too many cooks in the kitchen over there.
They really are.
With their 2 running backs they got, with the 2 wide receivers they got, they're a run-heavy team. They got great offensive line. I love Loveland, but I can't pull the trigger on him just because there's too many chefs in the kitchen for me, for fantasy-wise. That's why I won't have any Loveland shares this year because of that. Warren's different. There's 2. I mean, Warren, he could be the number 3, maybe even number 2 in football this year. He can just be a target hog over there. I love Warren more than I like Loveland for where they're going very close to each other.
I agree with that because me and Joe had a talk. I said, and I'm not comparing the two, but if you look at the similar to the offenses, where Bowers goes, where Warren goes, they're almost similar. I mean, Bowers ain't got no wide receivers. Warren's got Downs, and he's 4 rounds cheaper. And they use him gadgety around the goal line. They let him run some in outside of catching them. They do that with Warren every now and then.
Joey, I usually shy away, Kelsey in the first round, which was money, for years and years and years. To me, Bowers is a unicorn. I think he could be just an unbelievable tight end, especially even so this year with no other, nobody back there to any kind of competition anywhere in my mind, on the offense. If he can stay healthy, I think he could just be unbelievable. I don't see Bowers getting past 16 or 17 at all in the prime time. Where Bowers went last night, he's going to go that in every single prime time, right around that, or even earlier.
I'll tell you the team that I told you I took him on right at 4.
Yeah, mentioned that.
I got lucky and took Bowers with him at 4. I just want that unique match, pair with those 2.
He's got Clint Kubiak is an upgrade. It's an upgrade.
Perfect world, perfect everything. And if this is Mendoza's kid, anything, whenever he starts in week 6, 7, wherever he comes along, and he's actually all that, he's going to struggle this year. All right, but let's just say he, can be one of the, he could be a Caleb Williams type thing. He'll
get a little bit of protection. They invested on the offensive line.
Yeah.
This offensive line protection will be better.
Offensive line, they got the best center in football now over there,
right.
So they have potential.
So you said on Loveland you're not taking him. I guess you're not drafting many of the Bears wide receivers either.
None of them.
Right, that's what
I don't have
either.
The only Bears people that I draft are both the running backs. I draft both of them. I draft both of them. But I won't touch any of them just because it's not that I don't dislike the players at all. But there's not enough mouths to feed. They're not going to get, targets like Abuka is going to get, like, Lamb and Jefferson.
So you don't think Loveland is going to be number 1 in target share, obviously, if you did.
No. Loveland could be the number 1 target share on the team for the Bears.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
I mean, he could be. All right, so he gets 6 targets a game. All right, 7 targets a game. He gets 5 catches for 50 yards, and you better hope he gets a touchdown. That's the way I look at it.
Right.
Type thing. You better hope he sprinkles in 10 touchdowns to justify to where he's going. Where you can get somebody similar. Again, those tight ends that went in the 9th round last night's draft, 4 rounds.
So you're
later.
not working the draft. I guess you don't have any Williams either.
I got Caleb Williams only because he was all the way in the 11th round, and I got him as my second quarterback.
Oh,
So that's like I'm a dummy if I don't take Caleb Williams in the 11th round.
Your second, right? But you're not taking him as your primary.
No, I will not take. Caleb Williams goes every single draft that I did 29 leagues before Lawrence, Hurts, Prescott, Stafford, Purdy. I don't get it. I don't see. I love the kid. Don't get me wrong. Fantasy wise, though, I'm not gonna waste 3 rounds earlier on Caleb Williams when I can have Purdy, Goff, Mayfield, Stafford, Mahomes, those guys. I'm still building my roster, in round 7 and 8 instead of taking Caleb Williams there. 8th, 9th round where he's been going.
Right. It looks like you're bought in with in terms you're an Ibuka. You like Ibuka.
Listen, I don't know if you remember me last year in the prime time. I drafted Ibuka in the 3rd round in every single prime time as a rookie.
I didn't.
I did, and then so Nelson's saying, "Oh, Duke's taking Ibuka." I never stopped.
He's kidding you, though. He's kidding you because he likes.
No, Nelson and we kid all the time. But the thing that what Nelson has done was he has pushed Ibuka in the 2nd round now, and not only has he pushed Ibuka in the 2nd round, look where he went last night. He went 16th overall. If you look at if you want to call ADP for NFFC, it's ADP, I guess. Guess what Ibuka's rank is in ADP in NFFC? 41. 41. Yeah. And yet he's going 16th overall. And listen, if Ibuka's there, and if I'm drafting 3, 4, 5, I'm snap calling on Ibuka every single time. Every time. I'm just going to. I think he's that. I think he's all that. I think he's good.
And the last 10 days, Emeka Buka's 21 ADP. He's gone as early as 16.
Yeah, he'll never
get the board right there.
Yeah. I mean, now the drop off is if you're pick 3. To me that was pick 2 because I'm high on Devonta Smith. I think he's the end of the 2nd rounder kind of guy too, where he can actually break out too. But if you get Gibbs now, you're kind of all right. Really, am I jumping up and down getting Olave? Am I jumping them down, getting Nico Collins, as my 2nd pick in the draft compared to starting now with Jamar Chase and Ibuka type thing, that's the way I look at it. If you get Gibbs, you got to kind of pay the price a little bit. If you get Bijan, but you know what, on the other side of that coin, those guys are worth 2 fantasy players in one because they're so elite. And so
right. Yeah.
So it's worth the risk.
See, Joey, he topped you. Joey said 1.5. You had 2. See, even better, Joey, right?
They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable.
I've always said, if you take a player like that, they score like a player and a half or even more. Like Luke said, you don't really need a 2nd running back that easy. I think when I took Gibbs, I took Corum in round 8. I waited all the way to round 8. I said I don't need a. Then I started getting other running backs to fill in that 2. I don't really care about the 2, and I'll just kind of punt it to the side. But
I mean, D'Angelo, Steve, same thought process that we're just talking about. I mean, Stevenson. I mean, God, he absolute money during the playoffs. Last year. Price, you don't know, but he could be all that. You just need one of those 2 running backs right there to hit. Now he gambled. I don't know gambling, but he took Tyler Warren. But his receivers are still. I'm not jumping down about his receivers. Malik Neighbors, I don't know. Waddle, I don't get Waddle going to the. I've never been a Waddle fan. I think he muddies the water. I think he's a good player. Olave, I love, and it was nice to see a great bounce back season last year with 100 receptions. Pittman, I kind of look at Pittman like I got DK Metcalf. I'm not jumping down about it, but as a number 4 or 5 receiver, bye week kind of guy, okay, I can live with that. But to have him in my lineup every single week, I'm not happy about that. So you take chances, But if Olave comes through again, Neighbors is elite. Waddle is okay. This team has a chance. It has a chance. Dart's got to stay healthy. He's going to run all the time if he gets hurt, but then he takes chances. And I mean, what if Olave plays all 17 games, goes off? Well, who's going to benefit from that? It's going to be Tyler Shaw as his quarterback there. And that team has potential to do really well.
That's another offense that interests me. They
very much.
With ETN. I don't know how to pronounce his name.
I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, Joe? What is your thoughts on ETN? I hope he does well.
I'm not worried about Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara. I think he'll be a goal line, not a goal line threat, but like a red zone threat. I think he could find ways on the field there. I don't think he's going to eat into the carries and the overall touches. I think he's still good at. I was already anticipating Kamara sticking around. I didn't think that he was going to get traded or he was going to leave. I was thinking he either sticking around or he's going to retire. That's kind of how I was looking at it. So I had been in on ETN. I don't have any OC shares. I've done a bunch of drafters best ball drafts, and I have a shit ton of ETN in those. I haven't gotten a chance to draft them here yet. The last draft I did, I had him in my plans, but then the team in the 12 spot kind of made my draft, and I had to pivot into some better players.
Okay. So all right, here's a question for all three of you guys. Then
I like them.
Joe, you guys look at the 5th round running backs drafted in this draft last night. What order would you take ETN, or what running backs would you take in front of ETN in the 5th round?
None. That's where I want him. That's where I want to get him in the 5th round.
Yeah.
I was on the back end, and I was in the 11 spot, so I would have taken him right there in the same spot. But
so you consider ETN a 4th round guy then?
Yeah.
4th round running back. I mean, 4th round.
Yeah. If you got a 3 wide receiver, Bill,
I like him. Yeah. I like him over.
If he's there and there's best case, yeah. If you have,
that makes sense.
I'm taking him over Montgomery.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a wow. That's a wow for me right there, Joe.
Yeah.
Montgomery is a pure volume play for me. I think he brings a floor. I don't think he has the ceiling that ETN possesses.
I look at Montgomery as what's the guy with a foot problem, knee problem, did play last year for the team, Houston.
I don't know.
The running back, he's gone. But
you mean Mixon?
Joe Mixon. He is this year's version of Joe Mixon with no competition on there.
No way. Joe
Yes.
Mixon. He can't catch
balls this year.
I'll tell you what I like about him.
I don't see it.
This is why we love fantasy football, boys, because I think
he's going to get hurt.
He's
going to get hurt. He's going to get hurt if they put him in if he's catching balls, he's going to get hurt. And Woody Mox is a skilled pass catcher. I think
as far as landing, he could not land in a better spot to succeed in fantasy football. We'll see. I mean, if he gets hurt, whatever, he's done then. Yeah, but
the one thing I do like about Montgomery is sort of what we talked about a while ago with the Rams. That defense is so good they get you ahead. They just go pound the rock, keep it out of Stroud's hand. Just Marks be involved, Montgomery. I mean, that defense just let you run it, just run the ball.
What are your guys' thoughts? And honestly, I have no answer to this. What is Jeremiah Love going to do? Is he worth a 4th round pick? I remember Nelson taking Travion Henderson in the 2nd round last year because everybody's Travion Henderson, what's I mean, do you gamble the 4th round of Jeremiah Love?
That's the only time I would consider him.
4th round.
One draft the other day, I'm not. I just don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna get that production to make up for where he's going. 3rd round.
I agree with
you.
Hey,
the Algier money, he's going to get the touch. It'll be a touchdown.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know.
I think he's going to be great next year.
Yes,
but that's next year. Like Jen.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that, Mike.
One thing about just let me add to Montgomery. I like Montgomery maybe too close. If I get a 3-4 wide receiver start and I get Montgomery, I don't need him to have a high ceiling. I just want him to have that nice steady 4. I got my 4 wides. That's why I like him, because the consistency and the volume. That's why I draft him there.
If you're drafting the 10 hole, just what Nelson did last night, and you go 3 monster wide receivers, I'm jumping up and down if I can land Montgomery in.
Exactly.
I am jumping up and down. Says hallelujah, thank you.
Just hold down the fort and let my other guys eat. I mean, that's why you're drafting those 3 guys.
Yep.
You don't want to give it back.
Exactly. And to me, Michael, Montgomery's not just be okay. I think he's going to exceed that. I think he's going to get everything there. I know they got what's his name, the rookie 2nd-year running back. That guy's made of paper mache too, and he's always hurt. Monty was absolutely horrible last year. I got Montgomery in 6th, 7th round. I thinking I'm cute in several leagues last year, and he was just a disaster.
Different circumstances.
I
1,000,000%. And
I mean,
and you nailed it, Michael. Different circumstances. It's a whole new year, and that's why I'm buying the hype. And if I can get,
we were lucky to get. I had a little Montgomery, but
I got Montgomery.
The production that he got last year, I was lucky because I was.
Yeah, exactly.
I got to see Gibbs in the Eagle. I go to every Eagle game. When I saw Gibbs is the best player I saw. When you see him live, he's just. I think he's better than Bijan. He's
got an all-world #1 running back in front of him last year.
He is unbelievable. I mean, that's why Montgomery. In terms. Last year, I think he was lucky for what he got because I would have been 85% Gibbs and 15% Montgomery. Maybe that's why they didn't make the playoff. I don't know.
I mean, I think he's downgrading an offensive line. He's going from Detroit's top 10 unit to what Houston had.
Well, Detroit was terrible last year because they had injuries, though. But that's I don't know.
They were decimated.
I mean, I don't know. He I feel like I don't think he has a ceiling. But
Duke, you were saying before I gave him my company, what were you saying?
Like you said, Mike, I like him in the 4 wide receiver build.
That's valid.
I've got Montgomery. I think in 5 leagues in the 5th round, which I thought was really good to get him in the 5th round. On there, I would, to go with Javonte Williams, Montgomery. After you go 3 wide receivers, I go
that was a Nelson special last year, Javonte Williams.
Yeah,
I got a lot of them. I mean, I agree with that. Javonte Williams, I think he's even going to be better this year.
If he plays all 17 games, that offense, you kidding me? He's going to be unbelievable. He's going to be really, really good. I really like him. Just don't get hurt. I mean, we all have to deal with that. If they get hurt, whatever. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
You can't help that.
Yeah, you can't do nothing about it. But yeah, it's interesting where these players are going. Ted McMillan in the 3rd round. I was all over him in the 3rd round in all the prime times last year too. And then that was me problem because that quarterback is just horrific on that team. He just regressed. I think he looks like a 10-year-old little kid running around out there making terrible decisions, and just kills that offense. So I won't draft any guys. I won't draft this year would be Ted for sure. I won't have him on one single team.
Montgomery was Chicago. That was.
He was very good in Chicago when he played. He was fantastic. Yes.
See you grab Tootin. In round
I love
5.
Tootin because of explosive upside, offense, everything. I think I have 6 shares of Tootin, so I'm definitely taking a chance on him.
Yeah, I have him too. I'm in on him too. What are your thoughts on how the backfield plays out like as the season goes on?
I don't know. I mean, that's a very good question because they got his boy Rodriguez, that he coached, years earlier. But Rodriguez is not special to me. Tootin is special.
Yes.
But if Tootin goes down, Rodriguez has big value now too. So actually I handcuffed both Tootin and Judkins in this draft here with Sampson and Rodriguez, just in case the injury hits those.
See that? Yeah, Dylan Sampson.
Dude, I don't know how much I saw in one draft you drafted. I mean, I had it. I drafted him yesterday or the day before too. My 2nd year, Scatterboo.
I love Scatterboo. It's like I'm going to look like a world champion until he tears his ACL again in week 4.
Right.
Because that's just the way he is. He's a dodo bird. He's he's a little hamster, muscle hamster.
You got when you took Scatterboo, you took Tracy here.
I do it every time. I will sacrifice the 10th, 11th round pick to get Tracy.
Smart move.
I will do that. Yeah, I will do that. But see, I already have my plan for that draft for my receiver and stuff like that, where I can pull that off.
Yeah, you're taking the 3. You're bound. That's what you're doing. You're.
Scatterboo and Puka played
You're not coming out of the first 5. You're not coming out of the first 5 rounds light wide receivers. That's
no.
Not like you did the first draft when you threw everybody a bone. And
I threw everybody here. I was chum bait for the Sharks. Here's Duke. Eat him up.
I was Joey and I was saying
this was a really good draft. I like
Duke.
I like Duke's draft in this one, man. They get the Green Bay stack. He started three wide receivers. He followed it up with getting Quinchon and Juggins as your RB3 is real solid. And then he still managed to get a good 4 and 5 in Metcalf and Golden. You take a upside swing on Kraft. I've been saying it almost every show. I feel like round 9 Tucker Kraft is a free square. I mean, there's so many like fallback tight ends that go after him that you can grab. You got Juwan Johnson, that one's just fine, but there's Brenton Strange, there's Chig, Travis Kelce, Dallas Goedert, all these, Hunter Henry, Dalton Schultz, Greg, like you can even wait way later and have a fallback, in the event that Kraft isn't 100%. And so I like the upside swing. And you grabbed your handcuffs and Sanson and Chris Rodriguez. You made sure you stacked up both quarterbacks with a wide receiver that you have. It's a solid draft all the way through.
Bigsby should not have been there in the 16th round. He's too valuable a player.
I took a couple shares of him lately. What do you think of Pollard?
Love Pollard. He's the word for Pollard is solid. There's only 3 other running backs in the last 3 years that have rushed over 1,000 yards. He's one of them. Pollard.
Right.
He's one of them.
And I told Joey, I said they're going to use, new head coach Dable's there. They're going to use him September and October. You can count on him getting the
Listen, he has been absolutely solid. You got him as your second running back. I get Pollard as my third running back every year. It makes me feel just a little bit better. That being said,
I just took 4 wide.
but exactly. I was just going to mention.
Right, I agree with you. I rather
as a number 3, but then you got such high upside. Kyron Williams goes down. Oh my goodness, with Blake Corum, he could just be a fantasy finisher. He's
got standalone value as it is right now.
Yeah,
I think Dobbins has standalone value too. I think he gets 10 to 15 carries a game.
I think if I get Dobbins for 60, you never know. He's a guy that just to get me through the first, till he gets hurt.
And another one, Mike, is set for success is your Claiborne in the 12th round with the injuries, Aaron Jones.
Funny, I was fumbling. I was on fumes. It was my second draft.
That's a nice pick.
It was a little early, but I don't care.
No, I don't care. I don't care if it's 12 or 17. I mean, if you think you're going to be the hang-up, who cares? I don't care. That was to me that was a solid pick.
I want to see Xavier Scott off the roster for me to be comfortable with Claiborne.
You want to see who?
Dobbins?
Xavier Scott, the way back up. The pass. I think it would if the injury
that's their guy. That's the regime. They drafted that running back for a reason. I on the other side of the coin, stay away from Minnesota running backs.
He's a sixth round draft pick. He's a 6th round pick, right?
It's just you don't know.
I'm just taking him as in terms of.
You have nothing to lose and everything in the game with the 13th round pick on Claiborne.
Right.
Yeah. Nothing but upside.
I don't know.
Nothing but upside.
I don't think he gains like a full rope by injury. I mean, obviously he'll get in there more, but I still think he comes with, like you said, Duke. Don't pick any of them.
Yeah, if I have my option, I'm not taking any of them. But of the 3, I'm taking him. Put it that way.
Yeah, because he's the cheapest. I get it. Yeah. And what about Kittle? Kittle's still in the mid rounds. I feel like that could
Kittle in the 11th round. You should have called the police and commit a robbery because he should not go in the 11th round.
That's what I mean. That's how that guy helped me. I didn't go in the draft at all. Is my only share of Kittle. I don't look to get him at all. I just
listen. If you get Kittle in the double digits after Fannin and Kraft Laporta goes, he's the first tight end I'm targeting. It's going to be Kittle or maybe Goddard that I'm going to target, but it goes hand in hand. If I'm getting Kittle, I don't care. I'll reach and I'll get Tongas even in the 16th round just to make sure that I have him.
Yeah,
because of the system that they have with the 49ers. Those are tight end number 2s for a whole year, regardless if it's Kittle or Tongas. just because of the system that they have over there. You want the starting tight end.
And I'll be the first to tell you that wasn't by design. I don't, where Kittle goes, I haven't gotten any.
Yeah, it's I never leave it.
Where he goes.
I think I have 7 Kittles and I have 6 Tongas. I have 9 Tongases. I think of Tongas even when I don't even have Kittle, just because of Kittle.
Where are you taking him though? I haven't even taken notice where he go. I know is he going in 11?
It goes a little earlier than that.
That's what I thought.
Usually, yeah. Kittle's 10th round, 9th, 10th rounder type thing. You got him about a round and a half later that he usually goes, which is great value for you. Not having tight ends, that was a great pick.
Tongas is, I think he's a really good tight end in that system. I mean,
Joey, you don't need to put a name on the back of the jersey for the tight end. Whoever the starting tight end is for the 49ers, they're going to produce.
Exactly.
Yeah, we started talking about that name on the back.
Whoever the starter is going to produce on there. They're going to do well on there. So, I love to look at these boards like we're doing right now, picking out players. What do you think? Because this is what we love about fantasy. Are they going to be a bust? Are they going to be good? You talk about ADP, and this is, it's no secret I like Rashee Rice. Everybody knows I draft him everywhere. Let's say Rashee Rice he's not beating up women. He's not, hiding guns from a car accident. He's not smoking marijuana. And all that we talked about, nothing's going to happen to him. If we didn't hear about any of those incidents, I guarantee you Rashee Rice would be in the same breath with Lamb and Jefferson going at the 1-2 turn in every single fantasy draft, without question. Without question. I think he could be the number 2, 3 wide receiver in all football this year.
He's really good.
He's an idiot, but he's super talented for fantasy.
Right. And Mahomes, the chemistry they're really good on field together too.
And Joe, who's he throwing the ball to? You got an 89-year-old Kelsey. You got Worthy. I think is worthless. I think he's a gadget player. I don't like him at all. People say, "Oh, he's fully healthy now." I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid on that whatsoever. I think they want to be a little more. I'm not.
I agree with. I got one share maybe, and that's one too many. I don't see it.
I don't see it.
I know you like a guy that's you like. I've seen you take him a couple times. Wilson, a wide receiver for the Jets. Do you? What do you think?
He's an alpha. Because he's an alpha. He's an alpha.
You think the Jet? You think he can get enough?
Look what injuries again.
Not injury. I'm just saying quarter. You think they'll?
Yes. Listen. Do I like the quarterback? No, I think he's horrible. But he's better than what the Jets have had the last 2 years, and he can get him the ball. He can feed him the ball.
Gino's gonna pepper him with targets.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, it's gonna be.
That's the same thing with Rice and Wilson. That's at least probably 140 targets each. If both stay healthy.
Absolutely. Easy. And I'm saying that 140 is a lot of targets, and I'm still saying easily they're going to get that if they play 17 games. Yes. Yeah, I really like that a lot. I like that people are, I don't want nothing to do with that. The guy's an idiot. I'm talking about Rice now. I'll take him every single time if I'm drafting at the end of the second round, or majority of the time I get Rice, I'm getting him in the third round if I'm drafting out of the 9, 10, 11 hole.
Right, you'll get him early third, right.
And then I get him in the third round. And I start out with,
and it's even
I start out with
it's your fastest snap call. You got 5 different speeds, and that's Duke's fastest snap call.
Yeah. I got the combination
fantasy with the Jets. Garrett Wilson, garbage time. That's one of the keys. Biggest thing, garbage time production in fantasy. It all counts.
That's very important what you just said, Joey. That's what makes him, in my mind, one of the top wide receivers. If he's there mid third round on, I like my chances of clicking my button and getting him on my roster for sure.
And be honest with you, he's probably as talented as anybody in these first 3 rounds.
He was first rounder last year in the year, in the first round because he's that good. Their Jets are just a miserable, horrible football team.
Well, you got to look at it, boys. Ohio State and LSU produces probably the best wide receivers that you ever see.
Yes, sir. That's right. And speaking of that, how about Carnell Tate this year? Do you think he's? I like him.
I like him too.
I like Carnell Tate as a number 3 wide receiver on my team. I'll gamble with Carnell Tate on several teams as my number 3 wide receiver this year.
And I will say this, as a Josh Allen fan, Dable's a better OC than what he was a head coach. he'll if he can make Cam Ward something, you're probably looking at 120 plus targets for Cornell Tate at least.
That's
115.
it. The number one target in Brian Dable offense is is kind of why I'm really liking Cornell Tate. And
yeah,
Duke, you said it best. The wide receiver 3, you get him as a wide receiver 3.
I mean, the guy never drops the ball. He's unbelievable. He's got hands of glue. The guy's just unbelievable. He had the deepest percentage in college. I'm sure you guys know of all football last year on the bombs. He was the number one wide receiver of all college football for long distance catches on there. And second year quarterback now. Got his feet wet 1 year in. I think he's going to make a progression. Better this year. I think now they got competent coaching staff, offensive coordinator. That team's going to be a competitive team. They're not just going to be a layover, a layup, whoever plays them. They're still going to be 6-11 maybe, but they're going to be tough. They're going to be a tough out. They're not going to be just rollover. My opinion, my thoughts, anyways, on that team.
And probably next year we'll probably draft in the second or third round. But Jeremiah Smith, is that his name?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's going to be
He's going to be the hot new item in fantasy drafts next year.
Yeah. I did a couple shows last year, and whoever was listening, I said, you watch next year, Abuka will go at the 1-2 turn. I said that every single time, and he would have. If you remember the first 4 weeks of season last year, he was the number one player in fantasy football, and then Baker Mayfield just went down with all kinds of injuries. Abuka got hurt, and it was just a mess. That's why. I mean, and I get it. I mean, I see the same thing that Nelson sees in Abuka this year. I think he could be JSN this year. I can see that. I can see that kind of eliteness with him on that team. Baker's the key, of course. He has to stay healthy all year, but we say that about every player. As long, but he's played the full season. I think he can. He's one of the X factors this year in fantasy football.
Duke, where are you at with the Jacksonville wide receivers? We see Brian Thomas and Parker Washington going in round 6. Is this similar to the Chicago Bears situation?
I like. That's a great question. The Bears receivers are going earlier, 2 rounds earlier than the wide receivers for Jacksonville. I like the Jacksonville receivers better. Of the 3, I like Parker Washington. But at the same time, the Vegas line on all 3 wide receivers right now at Circa, if you want to make a bet, on all 3 wide receivers is between 700 and 800 yards for the whole season. I'm not jumping up and down for that. 700, 800, all 3 out there. If you want to make a bet, you want to bet $140 and win $100. If they're going to exceed that, then go make your bet and run down the Circa right now. I'm not doing that. I'm staying away from that. I want Trevor Lawrence, or I want the running back, or I want the tight end on Jacksonville this year.
Strange.
I like the receivers football-wise, NFL football-wise, fantasy-wise. No, I don't want to live with the. But again, I'm going to gamble. I'll gamble on Parker Washington. People are gambling on Brian Thomas this year. He destroyed me. Just destroyed me last year.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give him to the guys. I only took him as my 5th there because it was my first year, and he's in the middle of the 6th round where I've seen him go in the 5th. I think the draft before what we were in.
The thing is, the 12 and the 13 personnel kills the deep threat, and Brian Thomas is the deep threat. It more so favors the Parker Washington in the offense.
The most consistent wide receiver will be Parker Washington.
Yeah.
My prediction.
And this year
it'll be Parker Washington.
Is I'm from Kentucky. I've watched what Cohen did with Wan'Dale Robinson in the slot. He utilizes the slot so much that Washington, to me, is the most valuable in that offense.
Yes.
But I believe I'm like, dude, you're better off let's just take Trevor Lawrence with Tootin or Strange, and then whatever touchdown you get, you're getting it, But,
right.
Cohen was really good with Wan'Dale Robinson. He put up monster numbers in the slot in Kentucky.
Yeah, and as a number 2 tight end on your roster, I will take many shots with Brenton Strange.
He was top 8 down the stretch after he came back from injury.
I got him in the 15th round last week as my second tight end. Yeah, I loved it. I think he can put up 10, 12 points every week and sprinkle in maybe 7 touchdowns out of the 17 games. I think he's the 550 kind of guy and sprinkle in a touchdown like every other game as your number 2 with upside. I like
another thing too, like what Duke's saying, and which none of us on this show wishes it, but one of them wide receivers goes down, Strange becomes a little bit more valuable in that offense.
100%. Even with Travis Hunter waiting to break the ranks of those three in there, but he's separate. He's got his own that tight end, and underneath, and Trevor likes him. I remember he got hurt. Strange did too, so he missed a couple games last year. He's back 100%. They just extended him with $30-some million about a month ago contract. So I like him.
He was top 8 after he came back from injury down the stretch.
Yes,
scoring tight ends.
I like him. Well, Jacksonville,
he's involved. It's because of the offensive scheme. He's involved in that offense.
What a difference! What a difference an offensive mind makes for a team, right? With Tampa Bay coordinator going over the head coach now, and look at the difference. What happened with that team? How they just took off. It's just unbelievable, and I like them even more this year now too.
Dude, let me ask you a question about your quarterbacks. I mean, are you always? Is your intention always to try to get one to stack? Is stacking it big or no? Or not? You don't get usually consider it too quality. I just noticed one draft. I love the draft. I mean, it was I just read it to you you were in the 6th. St. Brown and Buka Wilson, you guys. Javonte Williams, Montgomery Swift. I love it. Metcalf, Reed, Mononga. I think. You took Prescott, I guess you were looking for Goff. The guy was taken before, and you got Prescott and Purdy, 2 good quarterbacks. I guess was that just because Goff was?
It's just it's kind of like even though I have Amon-Ra, how are you going to pass on Prescott in that offense? How are you going to pass on Goff in that offense? But then another draft too, Michael. I took Goff in front of those guys, depending on my structured team for that time.
Well, you took Mononga was the right choice to get with Swift as your third. I like that move. I'm just saying you got 2 good quarterbacks. Goff was. I mean, if Goff was there, would you have taken him over Prescott with Amon St. Brown?
I guess the only reason I did. Sometimes I would, but I like stacking, but it's not a priority.
It's not
a priority. Then sometimes where it plays out that way in the drafts, where I can't tell you when I double hit on quarterbacks in rounds 10 and 11, both those quarterbacks I would stack up with my number 1, 2 wide receivers. It'd be Rashee Rice and it'd be Amon. I would get Mahomes and I would have Goff as my 2 quarterbacks when I double tap in rounds 10 and 11. So which I like. I mean, we all love that. Who doesn't like a stack?
You haven't got Rice. So your Rice teams, are you getting Mahomes the majority?
Yes, I got Mahomes on 9 teams. Every Rashee Rice team that I have, I think I do have Mahomes. But the thing with Mahomes, I always grab Mahomes as my second quarterback. He's not my first quarterback.
Yeah,
I'll have somebody before that. And Mahomes could be absolutely amazing. Mahomes is a freak of nature. He could be all that again for all we know. If he comes back healthy. But
that's a good division to have players in too.
Yeah,
just to be proof. I guess you just be a little proof because he's still coming. He's going to be ready, but we'll see if early. At least early on, it's good to have that second quarterback. The feel out the offense.
The Chiefs aren't the Chiefs that we know of, 3, 4, 5 years ago. That 100%, that explosive offense, stuff like that. I think they want to run the ball, try to with Kenneth Walker more this year. I don't think Kenneth Walker is going to survive. I think he's injury prone. I think he's going to get hurt. That's just my opinion. I don't see him surviving. I love Scatterboot, like I mentioned. I don't see him surviving. But
Scatterboo's not in the second round.
There you go.
He's
I like
fourth. So
I
you
like
haven't taken Walker, I guess, right?
I won't have one share of Walker anywhere. I know I have so many teams, but I don't believe in them on there now. Where I'll have more shares of Barkley. I'm believing in that now. They got rid of that horrific offensive coordinator. I think Barkley bounces back. They might even get rid of that tush push, hopefully, and get Barkley more involved, catch more balls this year. I think Barkley could be one of the steals this year, similar to like McCaffrey was last year.
The offensive line is healthy. I mean,
everything is set up perfectly for Barkley this year, and I don't where you picked, if Barkley was available there, where you took Pickens there or whatever, it doesn't matter what I'm even talking about your draft here, but if Barkley was available right there, I would pull the trigger on him right there, and I would have got him.
I got a share of them. The offensive line we'll see. I think it's a fifth, like I said the other night. I think I'm not a Devontae Smith guy. It's not him. I think it's Hurts. I think fifth OC in 5 years. But I see what you're saying. I think Barkley can catch more passes. Hopefully.
My goodness! Look at Barkley 2 years ago.
If they're going to win, Barkley's going to. It's
100%. Yes. Yeah. And he's not washed up. He's still. I think he's got a couple years left on him easily.
Yeah, he hurt his. I think you're right. I think he's not. He still has it.
Yep.
Hopefully he'll stay. Won't get that ankle tweaked a little bit. I think that hurt him mid-season. Plus, with the offensive line not have. I mean, their winning percentage without Lane Johnson, it's night and day.
Yes.
He's not on the field.
Yes. No, I like him. The other wild card is, of course, Omarion Hampton. I'm going to grab him. I think he has a chance to do great this year. I'll grab him on numerous teams. See how he plays out. I like him too.
Yeah. I'm going to piggyback to Duke's player Rice. And I think Ed Mahomes was talking about. I think the reason why Mahomes is going slow is lower, as people don't think he's going to run as much at first, but coming off injury. But I think he stands in their pocket and he throws more to Rice. I think it helps Rice a lot more too. After you sit and talk about it, because if he ain't gonna run, he's gonna throw the ball all the time. So he never ran a lot, but he ran enough to get.
And Joey, I mean, remember how many games was he suspended last year? 5, 6, Rice, right?
6.
Okay,
yeah.
And then week 1, Worthy, he runs into Kelsey, and he's out for 6, 7 weeks when he's hurt. I mean, they had nobody to throw the ball to, So people, I don't think, are taking that into consideration. How many targets that Rashee Rice is going to see if the knucklehead can play 17 full games, or what kind of monster he has with no other competition on that team that's going to that I can see. Kelsey, okay, but maybe, but he's not Kelsey anymore. Worthy, again, I call him a gadget player. He's just a little fast little guy out there. He doesn't do much of anything. So I mean, to me, Rashee Rice is in the category, as far as I'm concerned, with Lamb and Justin Jefferson and AJ Brown. I throw him in that 4 group right there, where you can get him at a dip.
Duke, the Kansas City Chiefs as a team, they obviously weren't that good last year. They finished with their worst record in years. How do you think overall, where you're saying where they don't have like a clear cut number 2 pass catching option, they want to run the ball more? Do you think where do you see them finishing as a team NFL this year? You think that they're gonna take that division back this year, or
no?
No?
I see them as fighting for the last playoff spot. They're not going to be a horrible team. They're not going to be a great team, but they're going to be a good team. They're going to be competitive. I think their defense is just nothing to jump up and down about. They want to win by running the ball, but they're going to get behind because there's offenses in there with Denver, and the Chargers. They're going to put points on the board where they're going to have to throw the ball, and the Chiefs aren't just all of a sudden going to run the ball all the time either. I mean, they're still the Chiefs. You still got the Walrus. So there's the head coach, great play calling, one of the best play callers, out there and throwing that ball around, and innovative plays at the goal line and everything you can imagine. So they're gonna that's not going to change. Now throw in a fully healthy Mahomes and 17 games of Rashee Rice. Those for fantasy reasons why I'm all over those guys.
Nice. I like it. I just want to shout out the chat. Kind of haven't been paying attention to it. I had to enlarge the screen to see the draft board so that the chat goes away. Appreciate our guy Steve D'Angelo joining us in the chat. James, Polka betting guy James SEO, and Josh and Jacob. Appreciate the comments and the chat. Just keep them coming. I'll try to pay attention to those a little bit more. Hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're not subscribed to the Sports Affiliation. And we're at about an hour and a half. So I don't know how much longer you want to go, Duke. I mean,
all right, whatever you want. I'm here with you guys.
Yeah.
Duke's got sunlight outside. Are you? Is that where you're from? Are you from the West Coast originally?
Yeah, I'm 60 miles east of LA in Southern California.
That's where you grew up. Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at here. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Nice.
But looking at this board here, like Joe, like one player I'm just not touching with a 10-foot pole, and he's going 3-4 rounds than all the other quarterbacks that are going around 9, 10, and 11. I just won't touch him. And I love the guy. He actually went to Cajon High School, which is 4 miles from my house here, is Jaden Daniels. I love the guy. As a person, you can't help being a fan of Jaden Daniels. But in my opinion, he's too small. He's a little tiny guy. He
is. Yeah.
He reminds me of RG3 from years ago. You love the guy, but he just cannot stay healthy. He looks like a 12-year-old kid out there amongst grown men out there, and he just can't take the weekly beating in the NFL. That's my opinion. It proved right last year. And again, I love the guy. I don't want to say a bad word about him, but I think he's too small to handle NFL.
I mean, he's only got Terry McLaurin. They drafted Antonio Williams. All the old, the McCaffrey, and he doesn't have much offensive weapons. You think they get him some help? Any anticipation? Stephon Diggs or Keenan Allen?
Right.
Somebody goes there. I mean,
yeah, I don't get the I got McLaurin. So I got to get that stack. So I'm gonna pull the trigger in the 7th round. I love when I see that. I mean, I love that. That means another player is gonna get that much closer to me in the 7th round that I'm hoping to get. They want to get.
Yeah.
I can get quarterbacks 3-4 round later.
In that case, he was auto drafted.
Yeah.
I mean, I never seen a Burrow Daniels. That's the one.
No, you're not going to see that. You're not going to see that one. No.
Yeah, no.
You knew the guy you knew it was an auto draft.
I really like how you assess Jaden Daniels there. I play in a couple of dynasty leagues, and I had him. And this year I made a trade for him. I traded him. I traded him. It's a super flex league, so you got to carry 2 quarterbacks. But I had him and Bo Nix as my quarterbacks. I decided to use him. I decided that, if I don't trade him now, next year, if he gets hurt this year, next year you're not going to get any type of value for him in a fantasy football trade. So right. I sent him, and I had the 105 for a rookie pick, so fifth rookie pick in the rookie draft, and I got the 102 in return, which I planned on using on Mendoza. So I basically recycled Jaden Daniels for Fernando Mendoza. Now this is dynasty, so it's
right. I got you. Yeah. I like that.
And I got Ashton Genty in return.
Beautiful. I love Genty this year. Yeah.
My thought process is you're not going to get an Ashton Genty thrown in a trade with Jaden Daniels after this year.
Never. You're right. No, that was a great move.
You know what I'm saying? So I like how you're reading that situation as well. I don't have them in any high stakes redrafts.
I don't have him any order.
I do have them in best ball and in one. I'm part of a Goats Invitational league. That's a redraft style league, but he's not the only quarterback I took. So right. I just like where he kind of he fell to me in a spot, and I didn't have a quarterback yet, and everyone was still. I figured I'd go for I took a swing on him for upside, basically, because the way I built my roster. If right. he does stay healthy, the team could be really dangerous. And obviously, I grabbed the fallback, somewhat a little bit safer on steady offense. I can't remember who it was now, but I like that evaluation of Jaden Daniels for sure. What about Rachaad White? How do you
every draft, certain people that we know draft him.
Yep.
he was my running back when I won the Silver Bullet, and I had him. That was the year I had 100 some teams, and 50 of them I had Rachaad White on that team. I was so high on him that he was, where he landed now with Washington. And listen, if you can get him in the 7th round, it's worth the gamble. Take a shot on him. He's going to catch the passes. We already know that, So I like him. I'm not crazy about him, but I like him. I don't dislike him, And again, you're getting him where he's going in the draft here. I'll take a shot with him as my number 2 running back. If I went super like Michael's team went all running backs there, If you mention Rachaad White, Tony Pollard, I'm taking Tony Pollard over Rachaad White. But I like Rachaad White. I don't dislike him. I'll have that being said, I don't have him on one team right now because of the way I've been drafting, but I will have some shares, I think.
What's your take? You talked about Waddle, who's been steamed up.
Yeah.
How about Zay Flowers? What's your opinion of him? He's another guy that's really moving up.
I love me some Zay Flowers.
You like Zay Flowers?
I think he's all that.
So you're a believer where he's in the movie.
I seen him go in the second round. I got no problem. I got no problem with that pick. Like I said, because it to me the elites dry up on the 3-9 or the 2-9 turn coming back, where you can say you can take Zay Flowers, or Devonta Smith. I'm good with that. I really, really like Zay Flowers. That guy's electric when he gets his hands on the ball. He's really good.
And it's a condensed offense too, really. Baltimore.
Everything's Lamar Jackson. The guy's got to stay healthy, and then there's no. It's going to be almost impossible for Zay Flowers not to succeed if everybody's healthy. He will be
right. He was solid. He was solid without Lamar half the year. Yeah.
He finished number 12 in NFLC scoring after 17 weeks last year.
And you would say, what? No way, Joe. That's not true. And that's exactly where he was. That was unbelievable what he did.
Yeah. Because I always write everything down after 17 weeks because NFLC site carries points over on week 18. I like to see how we all played through 17 weeks. I like to see how they stack up. That's just something I do.
Wide receiver 12, and there were points left on the table because of Lamar.
Yeah, another one I'm not on. I have just on a handful of teams, and I'll get them on 1 or 2 teams. I just won't touch them. It's not as much. Well, it is part of him. But combination of the quarterback is Nico Collins. Every year,
funny you said. I was going to ask you that. Okay.
Yeah, he will pull his hamstring again. He will miss 3-4 weeks. It will. Yep. I guarantee you, it will happen.
Always.
And he has a quarterback that is such a. I had him also on my silver bullet team. I got him for $5 like in week 4 a couple years ago, and he did amazing. If you remember, in his rookie year, he has regressed so bad. He's lost confidence. I just don't think he's a very good quarterback now. So that with a combination of Nico Collins injuries, that's why I'm not going to waste. I'm not going to say waste, but make a pick in the 3rd round of Nico Collins.
Nice, yeah. There's a lot of good wide receivers at that turn, and Nico's in the mix there. Yeah, I could see why he could go undrafted in a lot of drafts by certain people. Like if you're not.
Have you taken any London?
I only have 2 shares of London, just because the other receivers that I've mentioned that I really, really like. But I'll take them. I'll get them on a handful of teams. You have to. I mean, you have to. He's elite talent. He's up there. But I got him behind. I have him behind Abuka and Rice. A little bit, not by a whole lot, but yeah, I don't dislike him.
And a guy Joey got in the 4th round who I like. It's late. I like where he got him. Is Mike Evans for you? Is that?
I like Mike. You know what? I always say Mike Evans. I throw in the same category as Derrick Henry. They're toast. They can't get another year out of it. And every year they both prove me wrong. They look amazing. Now Mike Evans lands in the most perfect spot you can imagine. If Mike Evans plays 14 games this year, you will see another, and I think he'll do it with ease, double-digit touchdowns again this year.
I was just going to say, yep, there you go, Joe. You beat me to it. I feel like he is last year's Devontae Adams.
If the ball's on the 1-yard line, you know who it's going to. you know who it's going to. Yeah.
And he'll be open because they got to respect McCaffrey.
They got to respect everybody. Listen. The 49ers offense, I want all skill players on the 49ers offense. All of them. The two, I like Pearsall, Kittle, all of them, McCaffrey. I want those players on my team. Because if their defense is
like Pearsall, the injury.
I think the number 2 wide receiver spot is going to carry value with Juwan Jennings departing and George Kittle not being being 100% right away.
It's Pearsall's job to keep. If he
Right.
I say it to my buddy that I hang out with here. Pearsall, to me, if he stays healthy, is going to be this year's version of Julian Edelman from years ago. He's going to be just catch ball after ball after ball, type of. Again, the key thing is injury because the guy is made of glass. I mean, the poor guy got shot 2 years ago, but he has a lot of injuries, but if he can stay healthy, the guy's super talented. That's why.
Really, if you draft Pearsall like you're talking in the say 16th, 18th round. You ought to take the rookie as a handcuff for the Niners.
I see certain people doing that too, which is a smart move. It's a smart move. That's like taking
Flournoy.
The wide. Give me a second here. I'll find him on the board. That's like taking Tesla in the 14th round. You want to get, one injury away. That guy could be just electric on that offense. Same type thing.
And the guy from Dallas, he's
another one. Flournoy. Throw him in that mix too. 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you guys happen to catch Steve G's assessment, the way he assessed Ricky Pearsall last week on a podcast?
No, what did he say?
I forget what he said. I remember it was funny.
I couldn't stop laughing. He was like, I was all in on this guy. He got shot. I thought he was a Marine. He's a fucking Marine. And I was taking him everywhere, and then he burnt me. He goes, I'm off of him this year. That's why he's like, I don't know about Pearsall. I think I'm done drafting him. He's always hurt. He can't stay healthy.
You know what? My prediction on Ricky Pearsall, come prime time in Vegas, he will go in the 6th round. That's my prediction right now. I'm telling you.
Real.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. Would you take him in the 6th round?
Yes.
Players off the top of your mind, off the top of your head. Who do you see moving up for the big money
Pearsall,
draft?
Josh Downs, Godwin, Parker Washington, Matthew Golden. I see Matthew Golden going in the 7th round, come Vegas time. I think I can see quarterback plays so bad, but Team 5 last night got Jalen Coker in the middle of the 10th round. I can see him going at the end of that 8th, early 9th coming up, because even though he's got a position to himself, there.
Yeah.
He has the chance to do. He could be a number 3 wide receiver, bye-week guy, type thing with occasional explosiveness and have 15, 20 point game. Rashid Shaheed's a lot of talk about him right now. I'm just not so sure. But it's a 10th round pick. Why not take a shot? But I don't know.
I take it in a few times. I agree with you. You're looking. Look, he did have a stretch with the Saints. He looked real well. We'll see with a full training camp.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, like you said, 10th, 11th round.
It's not going to
kill you.
Yeah.
You're playing for the big money. You're not playing you're not playing for 3rd, 4th place.
No.
I know you said you were off him, but do you like? I think Colston Loveland is a guy that gets back into the 4th round.
You can't. Colston Loveland is just such a great player. It's nothing about Colston Loveland.
I know it's a situation.
It's just a situation that he's in, and you're paying. It's like buying a beer, at the Circa for $25, where you can go to another casino down the street and get that same beer for $2. That's the way I look at it here in fantasy football. I can get the tight end 4 rounds later, type thing. That's the way I look at it.
I see him moving. I don't see him in the 5th round in many prime time.
No, he's going in the 4th round, which is still. He's embedded in the 4th round. He's the 3rd tight end going off the board in every single draft. It'll be Loveland, and then it'll be Tyler Warren, and then you have a 3-round fall off. Always after that.
Who do you like best after that? The tight end.
See, that's the great thing about the tight ends. I love the core of Pitts, Laporta, Kraft, Fannin, and Kittle. I love them, and Bill Goddard in there too. I like.
And I'll tell you one I like based on his teammate for the first 6 weeks. Likely could carry you if Neighbors is out.
Likely is very intriguing pick. I agree 100%. Another guy that likes to draft this guy is Dalton Kincaid. We know who that is too. I'm not buying it. I like him. I don't dislike him, but the guy just can't stay healthy. He went before Goddard. I'm taking Goddard 100 out of 100 times before Kincaid on there. And another one is Andrews. Can he get a healthy year again? I don't know. I don't have one share of Andrews. I still might get a couple because I'd be, again, such a volume guy. I can't just say I don't believe him. He's not going to do anything. I'm still getting a couple shares of him, but he could bounce back. He could have a good year again. There's no reason not to. They gave him a new contract last year, or was it another 2-year contract or something like that?
I think so.
He can be involved. Healthy. That's a key.
He does have to stay healthy, yeah.
I look at Kelsey as the guy has really nothing to play for. He's married to a billionaire now. He's won multiple titles. Is he really that hungry anymore? I look at that's a big factor to me. You know,
Right.
give me a young lion. You know, give me not a young lion, but give me a Likely. You know, give me a Tucker Kraft. Give me a Fannin. He's already been to the mountaintop. I don't think it's that important to him as much as it is.
And I tell you something, I think what Duke is saying is something, and we can even throw this out there for Dynasty. If I'm Dynasty owners, I'm going out there picking up Noah Gray cheap. He's in the system, and he's going to play a lot more complimentary snaps because of Kelsey being older, and they want to get to the playoff somehow, and they want him to be healthier.
Yeah.
Not that I think Noah Gray's even redraft relevant. I don't think so. But I'm just saying I think he plays more than what we realize based on Kelsey's age. And like I said, he came off the field quite a bit last year.
Yeah.
You know, Andy Reid pulled him off the field
Yep.
quite a bit.
No, yeah, I prime time again too. Joe, you're asking about who I think is going to move up. I think you're going to see Terrence Ferguson go like in the 15th round, 14th round, up prime time too, because the Rams love throwing the tight end. They're great red zone targets. They're always heavily involved. Higbee was one of my fantasy favorite tight ends for 2-3 years in a row. I mean, he was fantastic to have. You know, so I can see Terrence Ferguson going there. I like him. Right now, I get Ferguson, even though I got 2 tight ends, I still pull the trigger on the 17th, 18th round. Number one, it's a free look, which is a small part of why I'm getting him. But he has the potential of being really, really good in an elite offense that can go all the way to the Super Bowl this year, which involves tight ends. And to get him for
Duke's
nothing.
last pick on this draft is one of the best tight ends to take. He's boring, it's ugly, but he's consistent.
If you put a picture of him standing in a uniform next to Jake Ferguson, they would be like Siamese twins. You cannot tell them apart. Dalton Schultz had 140 yards more receiving than Jake Ferguson did last year. But Ferguson had the touchdowns, and Schultz had 2 or 3 touchdowns the whole year. That's the only reason why. That being said, Schultz still averaged 10.5 points a game at the tight end.
I mean,
as a tight end.
He's not a pretty sexy pick, but it's the best. He's a good tight end to have on your bench.
Absolutely. Yes. Especially having a quarterback like Houston has, not very good. He's underneath. I like everything about that.
And like we was talking about earlier, Nico usually misses.
Yeah.
We was talking about players that maybe move up. Jaden Higgins can move up maybe a round or 2 in a prime time.
Higgins is a lot of people are talking about Jaden Higgins too. And again,
not that it's great, but
listen, Joe, you're talking about again the 9th, 10th round for Higgins. I throw him in there with Rashid Shaheed. They have an opportunity, but the quarterback is just so bad over there. Where that's why I like Dalton Schultz. There's no reason he can get 7 touchdowns this year. Why not? He caught 82 balls last year. He just unfortunately never getting in the end zone. He can catch 82 again this year and catch a touchdown every 1.5, 2 games. I can see that happening.
Yeah.
Dude, what do you see about your take on Jacobs this year?
That's another one. Great value. You get Jacobs in the 5th round, I think you're committing robbery again too. Nothing's going to happen as far as whatever you're talking about. Whatever.
How about Jonathan Brooks?
Domestic, but that's another one. See, I can't drink the Kool-Aid. I don't believe in him. He's going in the 7th round. The man has not taken a snap in the NFL yet. He's blown out ACL 2 years in a row. Is he set up to succeed this year? No doubt. I think Hubbard's just a guy. He's a Jag, but they paid him that big contract. He's going to be heavily involved. At worst, a 50-50 timeshare maybe. And I see Jonathan Brooks being drafted in every single draft as a number 2 running back. Not a 3. He's going as a number 2. Listen, this is the version of last year. He hit gold when Nelson drafted Etienne in the 8th, 9th round. Hats off to Nelson. That was an amazing pick, and that was magnificent. I just don't see that with John. I can be 100% wrong. I'm a donkey. I don't know what I'm talking about. I just don't see it with Jonathan Brooks. I just don't see it with him. I don't.
Look, sometimes it doesn't mean you're wrong. It's things that it's it's a fine line sometimes. With these things can happen.
That was the first time I took him this year.
Yeah.
But I've been Team Hubbard, and the reason why I say that, 12 touches for 55 yards is what Brooks has got in the NFL. I mean, everybody wants the new shiny toy. I get it, but I still think Hubbard is the value pick. Now he's still behind him. I take
Hubbard's
my shot with him.
Hubbard's not going anywhere. I mean, he's not going anywhere. At worst, it's going to be 50-50. It's going to be, Denver. How can you, Peyton loves 4 running backs, bringing it in the game there. Who you're going to pick the right running back? Who's it going to be? I try to avoid those situations, as much as I can. Breece Hall, we see him falling in the 4th round. I mean, do you really think he's going to get the ball at the 1 yard line, or is it going to be the 300-pound Braylon Allen getting the ball at the 1 yard line now? I mean, we don't know. We don't know how that's going to pan out.
Have you taken Breece Hall, or you're not really?
I have on one. I have again just because he's in the 4th round, and I took it as my 3rd running back, and I did it just because of that. But just to have him, I'll have him on a couple of rosters, sure, because he does catch the ball. He does.
Not where he went yesterday, but I haven't taken any of them. What's your take on? I mean, he's not a 5th rounder, but Bucky Irving.
See Bucky Irving. I got Bucky Irving in the middle of the 8th round a couple days ago.
Wow.
I had no. I mean,
no, again, but you're not targeting him, is what you're saying.
I should have targeted him last year. He was one of my darlings that I wanted in the 2nd, 3rd round, and he killed. And he destroyed me. It's a new year. Rashad White's gone. And then what do? They bring in the one guy that I didn't want to see Gainwell over there. Are you freaking kidding me? Now so. He's one of those guys you still got to take a chance on. It's not costing you.
Well, you're not paying up.
It's still an expensive pick, though. It's still an expensive pick. He's going 6th, 7th round. I got him in the 8th round, so I didn't have a problem with that.
He's got a wide range. Some drafts he falls, so I think when he falls, you gotta
it's just
him up.
I kind of do you want to deal with that situation because Gainwell's going to be involved every week.
Are you the same way on? I mean, I only took this guy. He's going way early. I took 1 share of Price at the 8th round. Are you interested in Price at his normal?
Wow, that's another great question. My very first draft, I drafted Price as my 2nd running back. And now I look back at it, I go.
I don't remember that. Was that?
I do. I was like, what the hell was I doing?
But I'm talking now. Are you taking him in the 6th round?
Hey,
there?
But I did get Charbonnet to go in that draft. No, I am not. I'm not touching him. I will not touch him.
Right, I agree.
It's just an unknown.
But you'll take him in the 8th if he just.
That's what. Like I took Bucky Irving in the 8th. Yeah,
there's always a Price. I mean,
say that about Price. What's that?
I said there's always a price you'll take.
Oh, yeah.
You might not like a car, but if they said here, this is the it's fit whatever, and it's half off. Yeah. That car was much better.
That car's $5,000 when it was $20,000 2 rounds.
Right, exactly.
I'll take it. Wrap it up. Yeah.
There's always a price. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Jordan Addison this year. I mean, I was just all over him. I think he's super talented too. But I'm not draft. I only have 2 shares of him because he's on a great system, great coaching staff. I think Murray. If Justin Jefferson's going to be all that, and I think he is, that means Kyler Murray's going to be very good too. And I think Kyler Murray is also a great pick anytime between rounds 12 and 14. If you get Kyler Murray as your 2nd quarterback, I think that's a great pick.
I think that's who I backed up Jaden Daniels with. Now that you mentioned Kyler Murray on the team I was talking about earlier, yeah.
You got to get that taste out of your mouth with Kyler Murray from years ago and everything else. It's a whole new system now.
He's entering the best situation. He's a major
could not be better
in offense.
It could be better.
I agree, Duke. You got to go in, you got to unscrew the rear view mirror on these guys. Otherwise, you're going to miss out.
Yes. Look what Sam Darnold did 2 years ago with the Vikings. Are you freaking kidding me? Sam Darnold, he looked amazing with them, before he went to Seattle, and Sam Darnold, for God's sake, come on.
Even Carson Wentz was playing pretty good.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah. So it's all about the system. I look at that with the 49ers. It's all about the system. You just put players in there, and they're going to go off. They're going to do well. As long as they're in a starting lineup, you want those type of players on your team.
I'm gonna ask Duke about my guy. I've taken him about everywhere. I missed out on him a couple of places, but like how you are on Rice, I've been all in on McConkey. I mean, I don't know.
McConkey scares the hell out of me because he's a little guy. But then on the other side of that coin, all right, I'll buy into McDaniels, the OC now. You're gonna get peppered. Keenan Allen, 105 targets are gone. Now you're seeing the love of Quentin Johnson getting in the 6th round every single time as a deep threat. If all that comes true and the offense stays intact, they upgrade their offensive line, Herbert learns even more, gets even better under McDaniels. It's worth taking a shot at. He could be, the elite element of the little guy catching the ball underneath and catching, 110 catches, 8-10 touchdowns type thing. He can pull that off. He's capable of doing that. He just has to stay healthy. He's just so small. I'm scared of small in stature against these giants out there getting hit. That's just my concern about McConkey. I've always been a McConkey fan.
It's funny you said that. I'm gonna go back over here to one of the guys I've taken, which I've been on this show a lot. You've watched it. I've said the same thing. Like, I take Dontavian Wicks everywhere because I think he's the most physical wide receiver in that room in Philadelphia. He's big. If you go Google, he's bigger. He's bigger than Devontae Smith, Lemon, Hollywood Brown, and Haley Roseman. You have to like what he does. I mean, I like him. I like
Joey. He landed in a great spot to have an opportunity to be fantasy relevant this year with AJ Brown exiting. I love Devonta Smith, but he's a little tiny guy too. But I love him. But sometimes you got to take chances. I'm taking a chance with Devonta Smith. But if he does goes down with injury, Devonta Wicks is going to have a golden opportunity to do well. And you got him you got him for nothing. And he had an opportunity to do well. Actually, I like your Jalen Naylor, even though it's people say he's going too early. He should be, in my mind, the number 2 receiver on the Raiders this year. I truly believe that. Yeah. He was very, very good with the Vikings last year. He was very good with horrible quarterbacks over there. He's an opportunity where he's going to get targets, and he could be one of the surprise picks this year. 60, 70 catches, 7-8 touchdowns. It's possible. It's a reach. It might be a little reach, but he can pull it off because the Raiders are so horrendous on defense. They're going to have to throw the ball quite a bit. He's going to have the opportunity to get some kind of numbers.
See, I even like my 20th round pick too on that offense.
Well, you can't just start him. You can't just start him because my God, the quarterback was just the Raiders, the coaching staff, the whole everything. They just clean house. The kid's got a year in his belt now. He's not the system down. He's another one that has a chance, But I like your thinking process. Well, if it ain't going to be Naylor, maybe Bosch it could be one of those two have an opportunity to do well. And that was good. That's actually a good last pick. I like that.
What about I don't know? Do you think
who?
Ryan Flournoy? Any chance for him?
Yeah, I throw him in the category of the Lions.
He's
an injury away. Yeah. I even like Christian Kirk just because of all the injuries. Mike Evans, Arizona guy. What's his name? Got shot. Arizona wide receiver. College. Ricky Pearsall. Both those guys are injury prone where he can step right in there and do. Christian Kirk's a good football player. He had some good years, and he could step in. I think they paid him $11 million, $10 million to come back this year. Some crazy money. I might be wrong, but I thought it was some kind of holy crap, he got a lot of money. But I like Christian Kirk. I like him this year. And you're getting, it costs nothing. 17th round pick. You have nothing to lose.
I'll tell you another player I'm starting to warm up to, dude. I've not had him yet. And from where he's going this year, I think he's a little bit better value, which we don't know what the quarterback play is going to end up being, but I like Marvin Harrison Jr. a little bit better this year from where he's going.
Listen,
we'll take a shot on him.
I have 9 shares of Marvin Harrison Jr. I've been in his corner since his rookie year. He's had injuries, had horrible quarterback play. I'm still going out on Marvin. I got him in the 6th round as my 4th wide receiver in the draft a couple days ago.
He was going a lot higher than that last year.
6 rounds a nice price.
Oh my God, Marvin Harrison Jr. in the 6th round. To me, I haven't seen it in none of these drafts. I like it because the defense is just atrocious.
Yeah, you got that on your Scatterboo Javonte Williams team as your fourth wide receiver.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's it. Oh, there you go.
Puka Wilson, and then you got the two backs, and then Marvin. That's a great start.
Yeah, I listen. You're hearing the talk. Talk is talk. Yeah, the Cardinals want to run the ball. Ball. It's not going to happen. They're going to be now 14-0 before kickoff.
Right.
I agree.
They're going to have to throw the ball. And then you got what's his name, Brissett. Look, all world. With the other receiver who I still like, even though with Marvin Harrison coming back. But I like Marvin Harrison. I think he's got the right chemistry, the background, everything. I think he's a beast. And I'm not giving up on him. I believe in Marvin Harrison. And if I can get him as my number 4 wide receiver, I will snap call in every single draft for the next 100 drafts.
Where he goes, he's really interested now. Yeah. I mean, was he a 3rd round pick sometime last year?
Yeah, he was even in the second round.
Right. Second round, 3rd round. Yeah.
He saw most same players. What, Brian Thomas? They went last year, both of them.
Yeah. No, he hurt me bad last year. I mean, him and Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbor destroyed me last year. That I like. But I mean, that's just part of drafting so many teams too. But those are the guys that I target though for a lot of my prime times team too. Because last year prime time, I got a couple catches here and there, but it was nothing like that I wanted. So hopefully this should be a lot better. But I'm a big Marvin Harrison Jr. fan, big time. I like him.
All right. Is there anything we haven't asked Duke yet?
I see. I don't believe in Luther Burden in the middle of the 3rd round. What are you doing? It just makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. T. Higgins, I still have the Kool-Aid cup in my hand on T. Higgins. Whenever he plays, he's money. But the guy just doesn't play a full season. But how can you not like that offense? I mean, I had the stack of Chase Higgins and Burrow, like about 20 teams last year. Bye-bye. See you later. After the injuries. But Higgins, when he plays, he's consistent as all hell. He has to play 17 games. Hell, I'll take 14 games out of him. He's going to do good, but just got to stay healthy.
Yeah, the key point you made is the offense. That's what I look at, in terms of Detroit, to Dallas, to Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, you now Rams. I mean, you can't go wrong with those pieces. We can't prevent. We don't know what the injury circumstance is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you got to just. I mean, you're right. I mean, you have those injuries out. I target high octane offenses for my core. My core picks 1 through 9. I want players on a high octane, or I want an individual on a team that's not very good. Carnell Tate. As far as maybe they're not going to be very good, but he should be the number 1 option on that team. And he's a deep threat. And he's going to get targets. If he can get 7 to 9 targets a week, every single week, and you get Carnell Tate as your 3-4 wide receiver, I like that. I'll take chances on guys like that. I'm trying to stay away from Pittsburgh receiver. I have 2 shares of Metcalf. I mean, he's still going to be okay. He's not elite, but Metcalf's still a good bi-week player, as a 4-5 receiver type thing. He'll bust out a couple games, But Pittsburgh's not going to beat you, 28-24. They're going to beat you 14-10, 17-13. And they're just not going to get the numbers that you want to get, with high-octane offensive players. But I try to avoid that unless they're an alpha, Now we're talking.
You like it, like you like Garrett Wilson.
I was looking for the name right there. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Give me that alpha.
You like an alpha, right?
I want an alpha. I want that.
Right.
And then throw in an alpha with an elite quarterback that you can get. Mahomes with Rice. I think without injuries or being in prison, I mean, how can they fail? How what's the downside? There's no downside to it. If they don't, get injured or end up in jail, they have to go off. There's no reason not to. They're just elite players. Where you got Chris Olave, he's elite, but he's 1 concussion away being out for the year again, even though he made it through the whole season last year. And I see Olave 75-25. Olave is going before Rashee Rice. That just makes no sense to me whatsoever. And I like Olave. Don't get me wrong. But I think Rice is elite. I think he's top 5-6 wide receiver in all of fantasy football this year. That's my prediction. I think he can do well on there.
When we all draft players, it's all about opportunity and target share. I mean, the
Yes.
guys look like, the targets is going to be there. I mean, we all, Ibuka, Devontae Smith, and I tell everybody this too. We don't know what Lemon's going to do just yet, but if you look at it, if Devontae Smith gives you any kind of production like AJ Brown did, the wide receiver too, and Philly should have a little bit of value because of what Smith did in the wide receiver 2 role. But he's got to be that alpha 1 to make it 2 work.
It's going to be tough for in my opinion, the wide receiver 2 in Philly is going to be tough to be fantasy relevant because the 3 stars are going to be Barkley, it's going to be Devontae, and it's going to be Goddard. Those are going to be, they're going to eat, they're going to eat, and the rest are just going to get scraps and maybe 3-4 targets a game type thing. So they need an injury, and hopefully that's not going to happen for them to be fantasy relevant. 3 to 4 catches a game, 40 yards. Nothing you would get excited about. Makai Lemon's a rookie. He's got so much to learn. And he's got, he goes to Philly. 2 years ago, defending champs. He's just not going to step in there and get 7-8 targets a game. That's not going to, in my opinion, that's not going to happen.
I agree. I think he's a year 2. He's a year 2 rookie.
Yeah, he's a year away. I think the only guys I like is a little bit of Barkley, and I do like Goddard where he goes. I'm negative. I think the Eagles. It's going to depend on Fangio, the defense. They don't like the turnovers, and that's basically the way they're going to play. The quarterback can't run for 700 yards anymore. He's a 1-read guy. It's a 5th. I think people are going to be disappointed in what they see. Some of the guys that are really steaming up. I'll stand on that. I was right last year on the Eagles when they were doing good, and they look what happened. They lost to they got blown out by San Francisco with Purdy when he was throwing the Jerry Rice. No, that was Demarcus Robinson. I'm sorry. Just got. It's a quarterback. It's not Smith. People are going to be disappointed, and I'll stand on that. I'm not going to. I spoke with that with Matt. I think I'm not going to take a bold stance on many things, but I will take it here because I was right way up here, and I don't see it changing this year.
Well, there's a comment right now why I passed on Barkley that just came out there.
Josh, we did talk about Barkley. Duke, I'll let you explain. Go ahead.
He likes better.
I passed on Barkley just because I wanted to go 3 wide receivers in this particular draft because I knew I was targeting those 3 running backs in rounds 4 or 5. Well, 4 and 5 for sure. 6 I thought was a nice little gift of me getting Judkins. But I love Barkley. I am back on Philly. Like last year, I would have Jalen Hurts on my team. Just don't watch the game because it's just frustrating watching Jalen Hurts. But at the end of the game, we'll have 25, 28 fantasy points. I call him he's a running back that occasionally throws the ball. That's what I call him.
He's a prima donna. He's not a running back anymore. He only
and so
he doesn't. He can't run for 700 yards anymore.
Yeah, I'm back on.
Great too. He got tight with Michael Jordan. He got to his head. You saw the Super Bowl. Like I said, Eagles shut out the best team in football in a decade for 3 quarters.
Yes,
the defense gave him 13 points. They're going to give him the MVP because he's the quarterback.
Yeah.
Barkley carried that team last year with a record season.
Yeah.
I'll stand on that, and I'm going to be right.
Yeah.
And if I'm not right, I got a half a block away from the parade, so I can't lose.
Yeah, I'm big on Barkley, as I mentioned earlier.
Barkley's okay, but I'm not that's the guy because he can catch more. He maybe gets back to the 50, 60 catch, reception.
Yeah, I'm targeting Barkley in mid-second round in many of my drafts this year.
But I'll stand on Devontae Smith. You can Joe. They can have him. Yeah, he's not going to pay off where he's going. No way.
The four core of Phillies I'm targeting with Barkley, Devontae, Goddard, and quarterback. And I'm only taking the quarterback if he's there in the 10th, 11th, 12th round, which that's where he's going now, which I think is great value.
And I agree because
that's a free pick basically. That's
yes, 100%.
That's different.
Yeah. Last year he cost you a 4th round pick for the quarterback. It's different.
Exactly.
This year's quarterback
you thought it was good.
Yes.
And the thing that we forget about, it's ugly to watch. But at the end of the day, he still had 33 total touchdowns.
That's right.
I mean,
all you matter is looking at the end. He averaged 27 points a game or whatever, so that's all you're looking at, even though, like I say, especially with the Philly quarterback, I hated watching him. He was like, oh, God, he's terrible. But then he ends up with points at the end. But, I like him. A-Chain this year, man, I don't have one share of him. I really liked him last year. It was just scares the heck out of me. I
agree.
Yeah, I'm staying away from A-Chain this year. A-Chain and Walker are my no draft running backs in the second round. I'm staying away from those two.
I think you're right, 100% right there, dude.
What about Amari and Hampton?
You have to take a shot on that guy. I think he could be explode. I think he could do great. How about Team 7 with Jonathan Taylor and Hampton? Man, I absolutely love that start. What he did there. I hate
How about the receivers he did? How about J-Mo?
He screwed the pooch with his receivers 100%.
You don't like J-Mo, I guess, obviously?
No. He's great 1 week. He's on the side of the milk carton 3 weeks in a row after that.
Right.
Alec Pierce with the knee. I don't want to touch.
They paid him. You know how much money they paid?
Yeah, they paid him.
Right? 80, what did they pay?
Worthy a guy. Again, I loved his first 2 picks, and then the train flew off the tracks after that for that team, whoever that was. I'm not high on that team. Lamar. Again, I talked about the quarterback. Why take Lamar Jackson in the 7th round when you still need, especially when you go 3 green out of your first 4 spots, you have to address your wide receiver there, and he didn't do that. And I think, and then you take 2 tight ends in your first 10 picks. Now your starters, Alec Pierce, who we don't know he's going to play in week 1. Hopefully he will. And
how about DJ Moore this year? You
know what? I've always been a DJ Moore fan. The poor guy, give that guy a competent quarterback, and he can do amazing. So I don't have him on any teams yet, but he's going to the 5th round religiously. I need to get him on a couple teams.
And you didn't like him last year, I remember, right?
I didn't get as much share. You're right. I used to be a lot of DJ Moore. I don't just like DJ Moore. It's always been the quarterback situation with DJ Moore, not him on there. I like DJ Moore. I think he's a terrific football player. I'll get shares of him for sure.
Quentin Johnson.
He's you know what? Every time I got on my teams last year, I drank the Kool-Aid. I think I have him on 4 teams right now, where I got him in the 7th round, mid-6th on a couple teams. I'll take a couple shots with him. I'm not targeting him, but I will take a couple shots because they could be very good. They could be good. He's the deep threat. He's the big guy. He's a 13-play guy in 8 seconds, with a bomb, and he can shit the bed the rest of the game. But you already got 13 points in the bank, and he's going to get at least another 5-6 targets throughout the game on top of that. So I think he's worth taking a shot on. Yeah, I saw that report, Derek, on Jonathan Taylor. That's his talk, blah blah. That's like Charlie Brown, the teacher, blah 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 in the background. He's going to be just fine. John Taylor, he'll be playing week 1. Yes, the board will choose him on this.
Agree. We went over some of Duke's. I asked Duke who he thinks going to move up. Come August, we touched on some of those.
You covered the whole grid here.
We did, yeah. We're at 2 hours and 20 minutes.
He signs every autograph. He doesn't leave anybody standing.
we didn't talk about Arande Gadsden yet. Where are you at on
I'm staying away. I just hate Njoku going. I know he's old and injuries and stuff like that. But if you take Gadsden as your second tight end, again, 12th round, take a shot. Maybe if the Chargers offense is going to be all that, like we hope they can be, he will be involved. And Njoku, you just never know anymore. He's one injury away from being out. He's going to be kind of like a thorn in the side of Gadsden if he is involved. Hopefully you don't want a 60-40 type thing. Hopefully it's like a 75-25 split, and then Gadsden could be relevant, because he's very athletic, Gadsden, and he has an opportunity to do well also over there.
Now, Michael Wilson, you didn't talk about is Michael Wilson.
Michael Wilson was he was my savior last year. Loved him.
Right. How about this?
I don't think he's a 1-year fluke. I think the guy is gifted. I think he's very, very good. He's entrenched number 2. They're going to be down again, 14-0 before kickoff. They're going to have to air the ball out. We know Brissett will get him the ball whenever Brissett's done throwing his little hissy fit on the sideline and gets back and showing up over there. He will get targets. He'll still get, I believe, 7 to 9 targets a game. Because they have to throw the ball around. So I like him. And if you get him in the 8th round, 9th round, that I have him in there with Golden, Jaden Reed, type players. Where they're going there. I throw him in that group.
Right.
Nice. Yeah, with Dave. Dave live streams every Tuesday night, 8 p.m.
Yeah.
How'd it go, Derek? Was he?
Yeah, give us a brief summary there in the chat there. Anything that stuck out for you?
Draft? Does he?
Anybody in the chat? If you guys want to drop questions, go ahead. We're still here. We're rolling. I got one for Duke myself.
Duke's not going to let anybody. He's not leaving anybody hanging tonight.
We haven't touched on this yet. Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle. What are we doing here?
That's a good question.
that is, again, to me, nothing has changed between Jalen Warren and Gainwell. It's the same exact situation this year, just insert different name now. I think Jalen Warren has a little better chance this year than he did last year because Gainwell was just so darn good. But I think it's going to be a 60-40, 65-35 type situation. It's one that I want to avoid. I do not want to go putting out my lineup with either of the 2 running backs as my number 2 starting running back in my lineup. I don't want that. Caleb Johnson. good one there, Wimmers. Good one there. Real quick story, Joe, about Derek talking in there. I never met Derek in my life, and we're doing a live draft in Vegas. What was it, Derek? 3 or 4 years ago. And he loves the Rams. Derek, he actually lives in Ranch Cucamonga. It was like 20 minutes from my house. He invited me to a catfish.
Oh, that's cool.
Catfish barbecue at his house 2 years ago, and it was the best food I ever had in my entire life. But at the end of the draft, Derek, we were sitting next to each other. We didn't know each other, and then we became friends. He goes, "Hey, you need to keep an eye on this kid from the Rams. His name's Puka Nacua. You need to keep an eye on him. He's really. He wasn't even being drafted. I remember his rookie year. Puka on there. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. Here's Puka now. If I had the 4th pick in the draft, I'm snap calling on Puka every single time now. And that's how I met Derek, and we've been friends ever since.
Derek, you drafted a lot of the OCs, or
Derek? I will listen. Derek is an ass ache in the draft room. All right, I know firsthand.
Hey, Joe.
Joe?
Hey, Joe. When Derek invited him to his house for the barbecue, the
Yeah.
man had about 40, 50 people, family members or friends. He's barbecuing and everything. He takes me inside of his house. In his computer room, it's just nothing but fantasy football, computers, charts, drafts, everything. I absolutely loved it. Derek is the man. He puts in the work, and I felt like I was at home inside of that room there. And
he's good. He has a good draft, though.
Has he been in these OCs with Derek? Have you been this year? Have we been in any rooms? I don't know the way.
Yeah, Derek's involved. He's in there.
What's the last name?
Greer, maybe?
Greer.
I think it's
Greer.
Yeah.
Grier.
Yeah, he's tough. If he's in your draft and if you're picking next to him,
All right, I got to look for him.
Yeah, he's tough.
This year?
He's in a handful.
Okay.
Yeah, on there. But yeah, we met, and then he actually 2 years ago I got second. He the year after I won the Silver Bullet. We're in Silver Bullet together in Vegas, and he won his silver. He took first place, and I took second the following year. He won the Silver Bullet, the league.
Good.
San Bernardino, that's 10 minutes from my house, my friend. Is that Steve? He's in San Bernardino. Yeah, that's 10 minutes. Hell, 5 minutes from my house, right down the street.
I think that's where Ken Griffey Jr. played minor league ball at back in the day.
Yeah, he did. San Bernardino Spirit.
Ken Griffey Jr. played minor league ball. I thought he went regular. I thought
San Bernardino Spirit right across the street was a Mexico restaurant that I still go to right now. Yep.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Nice.
I played drafted against Dirk. I don't know. I may have. I don't know over the years.
Yeah.
Now I know like I don't.
He does like 9 or 10 leagues. Then he did like 9 or 10 leagues in the other leagues and in the other 2 leagues and. He does Silver Bullet in that prime time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the Silver Bullet. That's probably
the best.
Favorite.
It's the best. People can't talk crap about you. He drafts 100 teams. Of course he's going to win. They have no idea. But so, yeah. Yeah. NFFC drafters, I don't know if anybody else said it. It's just they are elite. They are the best drafters. I'm sorry.
FFPC, FFWC, they're horrible, but they have the $1 million carrot, and so I still did 24 leagues of FFPC.
And you could have the most amount of you could have good amount of points to get top 15%, but you won't get in the shootout. Maybe
FFPC. You're right. You're right, Michael. 4 years ago, FFPC, I went 14-0, and I won the league by 200 more points than anybody else. But then I crapped the bed in week 1. I didn't win $1. I was undefeated. I didn't win a penny.
You get to the shootout at least, but you don't win one.
Yeah, but I didn't win $1.
That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense at all.
It's absolutely asinine. Yeah, I again, there's the $1 million carrot, and I rolled over a bunch of wins last year, and I had 24 teams this year that I drafted.
And you know,
that's like NFFC. You make so many good friends amongst each other. The competition's great, and anything you do, you earn. As a player, you earn respect from other players. I mean, it's not easy. I've always been a lower volume player. Mike's, he's a mid-tier. Joe's a mid-tier. You're a high volume. But it don't matter. At the end of the day, it takes one team, to win an overall. But you earn a lot of respect from players, and you gain respect from players too. I had so much respect for you too, dude, because you're one of the best. You have to bring your A game when you go up against people like you, Billy Waz, Miles, Nelson, Chad. Elderman. I can just keep naming them. But you have to bring your A game. If not, you get cooked.
If you don't bring your A game, you better pay attention to what everybody's doing, because you'll learn. And you'll get better.
Joey, even though you're not high volume, you're good at what you do, though. You win with your low volume teams.
Duke, you heard what Dr. Roto said.
That's what stands out. That's what stands out that makes you a very good fantasy.
You know what Dr. Roto said on the air? Duke,
what's that?
You know what Dr. Roto said on the air 2 weeks ago? He said if he couldn't draft, the only guy he would have to draft for him would be Joey Brown.
Which he ain't seen everybody.
That's a God's honest truth on Sirius Radio, baby.
I've had to go up against Duke in prime times. It's not easy, but it makes you a better player. If you play against these guys, it makes you a better player. And I think the reason why I've had just a little bit success in the leagues I won, I will take my guy. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care. Okay, he took him real early. I'm going to. If I believe in somebody, I'm going to take him. If I screw up, it's on me.
But you just hit the nail on the head. It's me. It's this problem. It's all because of me. I make the decisions. People talk about, before it used to be mock draft central in the day. Oh, do mock drafts for free. The players are going. That's going to help you for your cat. It's just ridiculous. And now ADP. Well, ADP. Don't be an ADP sheet. Go after players that you want. Every single time. I say it everywhere I go. If you're an ADP sheep and you bring your little sheets with you to the draft, and you're marking off each name, oh, he's available. He shouldn't be there because he's 5 more lines down. I want you in my league. Please be in my league. I want guys like that in my league. You go after players that you want, that you think is going to win you a championship and make you a lot of money. That's the way I look at it. I don't look at anything else but that. If I see a guy 2.5 rounds later, he fits my team where I want to be, I'm gonna snap call. I'm gonna get him on my team. I don't care what people say. If I'm gonna take a third quarterback, if Kyler Murray's there in the 16th round still, and nobody's taking him, even though I got 2 really good quarterbacks, I'm going to take him. I'd be an absolute fool not to get him in the 16th round and store him away on my team. I'm always going to make moves like that to try to make my team better.
Right. That's what I told somebody. I was telling somebody, like, if I'm building rosters, this is just something that I do. It's not that makes it right, but if you're in this 10th, 11th round, especially where these tight ends go, I'm not bashful to play a tight end in the place. If you're sitting there looking at, let's say, rankings, wide receiver 44, 45, 46. Okay, that's just a shot in the dark. But if you got a likely that's low M1, and say you got a Bowers already, I'm not bad. I'll take the likely over and let the draft board choose which wide receiver I want to put on my bench. I think that's the kind of moves you have to play. And I don't think you have to develop the high stakes mindset. What I mean by that is, you have to take chances. You can't play conservative all the time. It's not going to help you.
No.
Once you learn the mindset of this game, it makes it a little bit more easier, but you still got – I mean, people like Joe, you got Gamberg, you got Dan and Josh, Dirk. I mean, it's just.
I'll say this because I mean I do it and people see that I do it anywhere though. But like the draft, let's just say this board that we're looking at here, right? You know, and it fills up, you know, and then KDS will be ready in an hour or 2 hours from now. And I already know who's in the draft. I already got in my mind. Well, I know Nelson's going to want this particular spot. I know, you know, someone's going to want this spot. So I do my KDS directly on that because I already know who they're targeting. I know their habits from previous drafts, where they're going to go. So I put myself in a position where I think it'll be more advantageous for me that I do that, you know, and I do that. And that's why I love the KDS. It's like another tool in your belt that you can use to benefit you in a draft that you want to use, you know. And another thing that I'll throw out there, because people know I do it all the time too. If my team said, you know, I really like it, you know, my first 12, 13 round, that's pretty down the looking team. I will every single time will take the number one defense, the number one kicker. I just added 24 points a week, every single week on top of my core players that I just got right there.
You know what?
That's a win-win.
You made a good point, though.
Right. And I think, you know,
like your team, right?
What cracks me up, like I said, I go back to my exercise I do, writing stuff down you know, every position. People will start filling out their defense when the kicker scores more than defenses. I mean, I would never take the top tier kicker before that top tier defense. That's just my personal preference. I mean, Jason Myers had 203 points last year in 17.
Yeah, I mean, I when I won the Silver Bullet back then, he was a lead kicker, but he kicked 5 field goals on that Sunday for me. It was Butker back then, but I target kickers for a reason, you know, and he kicked 5 field goals for me on that day, you know, so. You know, I mean, if you can start out, hey, I got 24 points in the bank with my defense and kicker every week to go with your roster. I mean, you can put up a 150, 180 burger every week if your players go off and even 200-point games.
Joe's always had a good philosophy on that defense and kicker.
Well, Duke just said it. He just mirrored it. If 25 points is the goal out of those two spots combined. If you get that, then you have a chance to hit that 180, like Duke said, that 180 plus ceiling. Those weeks really help you.
Oh yeah. So that's it makes no sense to me when people are taking the 6th, 7th running back, or 6 or 7, you know, wide receiver, you know, in those rounds there where, you know what, I'm going to be the lead dog on, you know, taking one of the defense or the kickers there. I used
to be the Justin Tucker guy. 10th, 11th.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was a GOAT for years. He was a GOAT. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, why would you want to take a shot in the dark on a wide receiver 6 or a running back 6, like you said, when you could get 190 plus points out of Justin Tucker? I mean, take it all the time.
Would you rather have the Rams defense or the Houston defense, or take Emmanuel Wilson in the 13th round here?
Right.
I mean, it's not. Are you kidding me? You know,
take Kalani in the 19th and get that late.
You know, it's just like it's a no-brainer. You know.
Yeah. You know, defense and kickers do matter. I mean,
1,000,000%. You know, and then you know, rounds, and then when you get in for the sprint, adjust your roster. If you got any fat, adjust it. Take 2 kickers for particular matchup and stuff like that. Because I do that. I'll load up with two defense week, you know, week 15, 16, 17. I load up on that. I remember I got 28 fantasy points in week 16 out of the Miami defense with a great matchup. When the Patriots with Belichick a couple years back, they got me like 27 points like in week 17, which caused me, I won a lot of money just because of that. You know,
that's the worst.
Make adjustments.
Yeah,
you know, always make moves.
I like that. I like how you brought up how you finalize your roster for the shootout.
And I'll tell you too, like, you know, I'm not like trying to beat no drum. I've brought this up a long time ago. I still, like Duke just said, if you take Aubrey, you're going to have to take 2 kickers, because when waivers lock in week 14, after you have to have him.
Yeah, but Joe, just make the move in week 13. You're going to have one player in your roster that's
right.
You know, it's like, so what? It's like, so I hear that. Oh my God, week 14. Why? I mean, it's like, what are you talking about?
You don't like
one good matchup, 2 weeks prior to that, right, and you're fine.
I'm glad you said it, Duke.
What's that?
I'm glad you said you're preaching to the choir here, man.
Yeah, I mean,
If I
Joey's been worried about week 14.
I don't- I
Brandon
said,
Hawk.
Yes. Zero.
I mean, I'm just
Zero.
saying, I don't worry about where he's at, but I'm just saying you can't drop him because
See, I know.
waivers
See,
lock.
Of course you're not
I-
gonna
you
drop.
know.
I'm on the other side of that coin there, Joey. I love that. I get 14 straight weeks. I don't got to worry about a freaking kicker, and I got
Right,
the most
that's
kicker of all the
awesome.
football on
Yeah.
there. So week
Right.
12, all right, so we got a great matchup there. I'll drop my sixth running back that hasn't got in my lineup all year
Yeah.
long anyways, and I'll just pick up that guy. So that's fine.
It's funny Duke said that. That used to be one of my strategies in fantasy football. I used to really didn't look who it was. I would take a late round bye week kicker, so I won't have to deal with it for almost at the end.
Hell, if they're really good, it's just an extra plus. You
is.
got to worry about week 6. Your kicker. That's where it makes a difference because you're still fighting. And that hurts. You might have to drop somebody team that you really don't want to drop. Unless you're really so good, you can just take a 0, which nobody likes to do.
And I'll tell you something too. When these people drop elite kickers, I like going in behind them and picking them up.
You see that too. Yeah. I saw the Cowboy kicker get dropped in one league last year. They dropped them because of the bye week thing. And I think I spent
drop them.
Yeah, I did 288 on them. I still couldn't get them. Yeah, yeah, I still couldn't get them. Yeah, and I pretty much did my whole fab on them. And I didn't get them. What I had left.
Hey, but he could have.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, and then you guys
You
talk
didn't plan
about.
on him being there to save up 400.
Now, what's your guys' thought process like for free agents? I mean, I'll put it to you this way: I'll have, when it's all said and done on the first week of football, I'll probably have about 140 teams that I've drafted. Right?
How do you do it? I thought that's a good.
I do it old school. I do one at a time, and it takes me 60 to 80 hours every single week to do fab on Wednesday and Saturday on there. But I think
like Nelson. That's what Nelson does.
I think I love doing this. I'm retired. I'm lucky. I don't have to worry about the nagging wife or the kids or anything. I get to do this, and I love to do it. So I think that gives me an advantage over the working folks of the world that got the wife and the kids. What are you doing? Free agents again? We got dinner to make. You got to take the kids or whatever. I don't have to worry about none of that. All I do is focus on that. Come Monday night when the last game's over with, or even Sunday night, and then I just store players away. I go each one. I look at everything that I possibly can to squeeze every single point. When I won that 50K, I won by literally 3 inches on 2 kneel downs. So you can't tell me 1 point makes a difference because it does.
You're right.
Just one point. We'll never see that again, but it happens. I mean, it happens. So to me, that's an advantage where I think I have an advantage over other players because that's all I do. Right now, like we're talking, I can talk to you guys for the next 24 hours. I just love talking fantasy football
And
analyzing players.
That's interesting that you and Nelson just basically. I thought it was with so much. You guys just roll up your sleeves and
that's it.
Work. That's
no magic board, nothing. I go each one. My very first team, I work down.
So I'm not wrong doing it that way because I don't know how to do it the other way.
I do it that way too, but I will say this, Duke. I like how you mentioned you jump in there on Sunday night. Sometimes I'll get started early as well. I just put things in there. I don't make anything etched in stone yet. And then I kind of adjust I don't have
always adjusting. Yes. Yeah.
I don't have 180, 100, I have 10, 15 teams. But I do like to get started on Sunday night. Like I don't wait until Tuesday.
Like if an injury happens, I go in there. Okay, I'm gonna add this guy. Just put like $1 down. If you're watching the games, I'm okay. I've got to go see if I've got him if he's available. But
I'm combing the lists early.
Yeah.
I'm picking the players that I want for sure. Tuesday I'll add anything to finalize it, and then I'll do the bids last. I always do the bids last.
Right. So, and another thing, I mentioned this to you, Joe, a couple of months ago, is when it comes to free agents and the money, if you don't spend 75 to 85% of your money in weeks 1 and 2, you should. That's where you're going to find your nuggets usually on there, and then they just pay off on top of the great team that you already drafted, and you draft a Puka, somebody that for nothing that you get them on the cheap, they're or even if they're a really good player. I spend 75% of my free agents first 2 weeks every single time Because listen,
Right.
if the rest of my team goes down, I'm not going to win anyway with injuries.
Right.
But if I got an elite player with a already elite roster that I constructed, you're not going to beat me. Short of injuries, you're not going to beat that.
I like that because there was one guy I wasn't aggressive on early last year, and if I was, I might have made a difference, and that was Kamani Vidal. He I was on the fence about him, and I was like, do I want to drop this 300-400 fab on him to get him? That's what it cost to get him. That's what he went for. Right. He went for like 341 or something like that. I want to say Modica got him, but I didn't even put it. I did because I knew how. Like I think I went for a secondary guy that week or somebody cheaper, but. Right. He gave you like 3 to 5 pretty solid weeks while Hampton was out. And
that's worth every single money in free agent.
It is.
Just to get that.
It is. Yeah. He produced much more than I thought he was gonna. I thought it was gonna be like a split. I thought there was too much of a gamble of it being a split share. But like you said, those first couple of weeks is when the biggest free agents present themselves. So even if you think it's a gamble, you should take shots on it. Yeah, that's one thing I learned last year.
After week 4, the cupboard's bare. The fruit's gone. You go grocery shopping. There's nothing left on the shelf but molded bread. Right. There's nothing there. You want to get your meat and vegetables that are still there that's going to be relevant for 17 weeks and for the sprint, and they're right there for the taking. You got the money to buy them. Go out and get them.
I'll take something else.
Real quick, guys, because I got a 7-month puppy I got to get this week. Dude, quick question for you. It's great talking to you. We're doing, I don't know if you realize, we're doing a tag team.
Mike, shut up. Mike, shut up.
Why?
We're not supposed to talk about it. Duke knows. He's aware.
Oh, okay.
We're not supposed to talk about it until Josh and Dan.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm good. All the Duke's aware.
Yeah.
Sorry. Duke,
it
was great talking to you. I will, Joey and Joe. I'll see you down the line. I'm sure I'm going to see you in a lot of night owls.
Absolutely. I'll be there with you, my friend. Nice meeting you.
Take care. Have a great night.
Good night, Mike.
I'll tell you something I was going to say a while ago that I have so much respect for, like Duke and Nelson. This is something that I say people don't realize. As hard as they work, just listening and talking about this. I bet you Duke and Nelson, where they work the wire so much, that they steal players in the Saturday night. Because nobody really moves with it. It's cheaper.
Because nobody pays attention to it. They're not in it anymore. Or their team's no good or whatever. And I take full advantage of that. You hit the nail on the head, Joey. I can get them for little amount of money, too.
You can get
I got so many good players on that. Yes, 100%.
And, especially if you work in that many teams, you would think you would have I think a high volume player has more advantage in the Saturday night because you're still working these teams and you're picking up these players $1, $2.
And I'm such a fantasy football nut. When I see a player that gets dropped, that's a very player that with a lot of potential. I do all that. I got my notepad that the following week, just a reminder that I need to go after that guy in free agency for league 1153. He's available. So I don't forget that. I do that.
And I tell you something I do. Process. This is crazy, but I do this every year. Like, when the prime timer bullet or whatever, after that first game, they put these overall standings up there, which I know they don't mean nothing. But what I do, I see people with Duke's teams, Billy Waz, Nelson, Chris, Himra. I like looking, when you see everybody's rosters, Duke drafted this guy, Billy drafted this guy. I didn't before that first waiver bar. I'm not going to pick them up for $1 or $2 because I said, these guys got them. Yes. How come our league didn't draft them or how come I didn't draft them? I like looking at the overall standings just to see the roster builds. I'm going to add this guy.
You hit the nail on the head, Joey. I mean, there's some players I told you I don't like. But if I see certain players that are, Hall of Famers or elite drafter, and they're drafting them, I might be missing something. So even if I don't like it, I'm still going to go after them. I'm still going to go after them. And
I'm sitting there thinking, I'm going to have to drop this guy right here to pick this guy up. It's just, like last year, like you talking about spending money early. These guys who got Matthew Stafford for Burrow.
Free for nothing. Yeah.
I mean,
MVP, 29 points a game.
League winner.
For nothing. There you
He's
go.
League winner down the
Yep.
stretch. I mean,
100%. Unbelievable. Yeah. Unbelievable. Yes.
Yeah, it's
And that's the reason. And that's the reason why. And that's the reason why nobody's taken. You can't. Everybody leaves the draft with 2 or 3 quarterbacks now because they don't want you to get that Matt Stafford for free anymore, or the Jackson Dart or the Jacoby Brissett.
The days of drafting just one quarterback are over. You know, every now and then you'll see it, but
Gamberg still mixes it in.
I mean, if you just draft one quarterback, I mean, God bless you.
The plan is to add one, but before in the first
you're already
few weeks.
behind the 8 ball though.
Yeah.
The plan's out the window when they're already gone or they're eaten up or whatever. I don't know. A number of reasons that can happen.
You have to wait. You have to wait for one to be dropped this year. I think that's what I'm saying. That edge is gone. There used to be a nice little sneaky edge because there'd be plenty to pick off the free agent list because there'd be more than one team that would go one quarterback, and you get the extra upside mid round shot on a running back or a wide receiver, and then you could fix your backup tight end once they presented themselves in the first couple of weeks. But that strategy's gone now. So like you said, dude.
No, and if you need a quarterback, I mean, don't wait until the week prior if you only got one quarterback. I mean, think ahead. Wait 3 weeks in advance and pick them up for $1 instead of 50 or 100 the week before, because other teams are on a bye week during that time too. It might cost you, or you could have them for like $2 3 weeks prior to that. If you have somebody, and you usually have somebody expendable on your roster where you can make that kind of move and get rid of them.
You have to play ahead. You can't wait to buy
at least more than a week. You'd even 2-3 weeks ahead.
All the time. To me, it's like shame on you
too.
Yeah.
I go on my teams on my team page. I'll just fill in lineups for every week just to see, okay, well, how bad does this look in this week? Like a lot of bye week. Okay, say that's week 7, it's going to be bad. So week 3 or 4, I'll start adding players if I've got the drops to make for week 7. I mean, you can't wait till week 7 or week 6 to do it. And you just can't. I mean, you might as well just take a 0.
If you do that more than once with the weeks where you're going to find yourself not having enough money to get the guys you need eventually.
Yeah.
Sure.
And you sit and watch people like what Duke's saying, they'll sit and hold their fab. I'm sitting there thinking, I tell you, somebody on Sirius XM back in the day, he said it more or less like Duke has. He's not on there anymore, but Chris List used to pound that from RotoWire.
Yeah.
Pick up these guys early because they're going to give you more production early on than you sitting there hoarding your money, holding. I said, that always stuck with me, and he's right.
I mean, you're going to see some drafts where they're not. I've seen some drafts where some players are available. I mean, I'll say, let's say Terrence Ferguson is available, right? And so let's say he gets a touchdown, 6 catches, 60 yards on the free look game. People are going to bid $500 on him now, or you could have him for free in the 18th round. It wouldn't cost you $1.
Right.
And stuff. It's stuff like that you'll see. There's going to be some player. I mean, it's going to be something like that where you get them for free. Now it's going to cost you 30% of your budget, 40% of your budget to try to get them now. Where you get it for nothing.
And like when we're filling out our rosters, kind of like what Luke just said. Okay, you're sitting here. Okay, there's not much on here. 18, 19, 20. But if you're sitting there talking about a Rams player and a good offense, take a chance on it. I mean, that's a piece of the pie, so to speak. So
and just even for the 1 week play when literally there's nothing available in 19, 20 round, even Barner is a tight end. A free look, it costs you nothing, and you off with his head a couple days later. But he has a chance to just do something for 3 hours in a game to get you 12, 15 points, which you already got that in the bank, and going into Sunday. So, that's why I look at things. So,
it's a fun game we play.
You know what? I'm in full fantasy drafting right now. It's like I really even get to concentrate on like poker tomorrow, and I'll be thinking about, damn, I'm missing the Wednesday draft.
the OC at 5 or 7 o'clock that you're going to be in tomorrow, Joe. That I can't draft in, and I'll be at the bike tomorrow drafting.
Nice. It's like I knew you weren't going to draft.
I won't be back till Friday. Wednesday and Thursday, I'm out of commission for football. I'll be back on Friday.
Nice. So tell us again what you're going off. What poker tournament are you playing?
Tomorrow is a $500 entry. I'm playing a beast tournament, which is every 6 hands. I'll play Badoogie, which is ace 2, 3, 4 with all different suits. Ace to 5, low ball. Deuce to 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 is called a wheel. That's the best hand. Stud high, and then stud 8. Every 6 hands it rotates. First place probably about 7,000. It'll be hopefully 40, 50 players there. First place, $6,000-$7,000.
I was going to say that's a unique format. That's definitely a unique format, and it draws like a smaller type of field. And
well, the LA casinos now. We're hoping to get, if you get 40, 50 players, first place would be 5,000, 6,000, 6,500, which is pretty good. For $500 entry fee. On there. It's just the way it is in LA now. It's not not WSOP with hundreds people from all over the world are just flocking to Vegas.
But those California casinos, it's great that they give you those type of options. You
mix games. You don't
see any of that over here. Like that would be there wouldn't even be a list of interest over here.
Exactly. So LA is just so many millions of people, and there's a hardcore base that's still mixed games players. So it's like our community of fantasy football players. There's a community of at least 40, 50 players. It's worth me driving 60 miles and dealing with the traffic to try to win $6,000 for a $500 entry fee.
Nice.
That's more online for me. What is that? A couple of 9-packs for me in the online to buy, type thing. So so we'll do that. So, but it'll be fun. But it's all football now, boys. I just love it. I'll be I did 4 drafts on Sunday. 4 NFSC drafts on Sunday, and two at the same time at 7 p.m.
I can't believe you guys did that. How'd you pull that off? Were you on the clock at the same time at any point?
Yeah, I was picked 10 on both freaking drafts too at the same time too. Yeah, I was.
Nelson was flipping back and forth the board. He was going
and then my computer took a dump on me right when it was my pick too, and I had to call Jeff on the phone, and because they had auto picked Javonte Williams in the first round, end of the second round, first pick in the second round on the 10-0, and I wanted CeeDee Lamb, and I got CeeDee Lamb. So,
It reminds me of back in the day, the online poker when I had the 3 laptops open, couple tables on each laptop.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But we love it. That's all I look at. It's football now.
I've never done multiple fantasy drafts at the same time though. That's a new one, man.
The most onlines I did in one day. I did 11 onlines in one day on my computer.
Online.
11 leagues in one day. It was crazy.
Nice.
But I love it, man. This is so much fun. The best time of the year. Just fun. The live stream. I just love the live streams, the talk, the info, the watching. Again, you don't have to be an expert. We just love what we do, and we go after players that we want, and it's just great conversation, and I'll do it 7 days a week, twice on Sunday. I just love doing it.
I always tell everybody, fantasy football rosters, and players, it's almost like a food menu. Ain't nobody gonna like the same thing. It's just
that's the great thing about this game. Somebody wants pick 1, somebody wants pick 12, somebody loves pick 7. That's and that's why you love NFFC, because they give you the option at least of going for where you want to be. Which is
there's more than one build that can get you there.
Multiple builds. And then when you're talking to Nelson last week, the 10 hole you can build multiple things. You're dang right you can. You can go 2.
The back end, The back end is
can't
more
do
flexible.
that. You can't do that with 1 through 4. You can't. That's the only bad thing about 1 through 4. You can't do that where you can do from like 9 through 12.
Right.
It's a different ball game. It's the American League and the National League. It's just different. Different worlds that you got to build your rosters with.
That's what I was telling Joe. I said
when you start,
it's so tough.
Yeah.
It's not that it's the bad. It's players like you're talking about the back. Okay, do I want to go 2 wides? Do I want to go Chase Brown or Hampton or Genty with a wide receiver? Then Or then you got, if you're middleweight, I want to take a wide receiver with Bowers. It's just first 2 rounds is tough.
Raise your hand if you can say, hey, Joey, you can start pick 10 and you can go Ashton Genty and Chase Brown. I mean, I got my hands are up in the air. I'll take that. Yeah. I'll take my shots all day long with those 2 players to build my roster.
I have
Cook back there. James Cook goes back there sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, I got James Cook in 16th overall in the draft a week and a half ago. 16th overall. That's what I'm saying. It's just crazy.
That's what I'm telling Josh. I don't think I mean, when I say it's tough, it's the way you want to build your roster. I think that's what I'm getting at.
Yes, you don't have that opportunity with picks 1 through 4.
But back there.
But the golden fleeces, the running backs out of the 1-2. We already talked about. They're like 2 fantasy players in one because they're so darn elite.
I want to ask you. Let me ask you this, Duke, before we officially wrap things up. We are hitting the 3-hour mark. I mean, not that we couldn't go all night, but we had Joey on here until 1 o'clock in the morning last night, and he was a zombie this morning. And I don't want it 2 in a row, Joe. You might be calling out sick in the morning.
I'm not really.
But then the 1 spot and the 2 spot, Bijan and Gibbs, because you start with a running back there, and wide receiver now becomes more important going forward. In my opinion, I told this to Joey already, and I see a lot of teams will click Josh Allen in round 4 there to pair him with Gibbs or to pair him with Bijan. I feel like if you start from the 1 or the 2 spot, you take a running back, whoever it be, I think you have to let Josh Allen go at that point.
I'll never take Josh Allen.
That's what I'm saying. I think that you like wide receiver, even tight end. Like I think an elite tight end becomes more important than a Josh Allen in that build.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I think if you force Josh Allen in round 4 there, I think it hurts you. It hurts your wide receiver depth.
Absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because we got to start 3, and in reality, you want a strong flex. So I mean, if you're gonna do Josh Allen, I feel like almost like you should maybe grab one like hero wide receiver, like maybe a Garrett Wilson or something, but then lean into running back. Like make sure you have like maybe you could do a Gibbs Barkley if he falls, or
that'd be amazing. Here's what you talk about ADP. I don't care about ADP. If I'm drafting out of the 1 or 2 hole, I don't care about ADP. So let's say I go Gibbs at 1, right? And let's say I get Devonta Smith at the end of the 2nd round. Okay, whatever. I get those 2 players. Now I want it. I know I got good running backs on there. I don't care about ADP. I know 5, 6, 7, 8. I like wide receivers where they're going there. I'll even double. I don't like the wide receivers on the 3-4 turn picking out the 1-2 hole. I do not like the receivers that are there on there. So I'll go receiver to my 2nd pick. 3-4. I'll go a full round early or 70% around early, and I'll double tap 2 more running backs now.
That's what I'm saying.
And I'll take Javonte Williams, Josh Jacobs. So I got 3 monsters with the Devonta Smith, and I can still now hit 4 wide receivers in a row that I know they're going to be there in rounds 5, 6, 7, and 8. Where what I think in my mind they have good upside, and I just need 2 of those 4 to hit with my 1 elite, with my 3 elite running backs, and I still got rounds 9 and 10 to get one of those tight ends that we talked about earlier in the show, and then rounds 10, 11, 12, then I'll double tap on my quarterbacks. That's what I'll do.
Right. Yeah, no, I get that. But my whole point was I think that Josh, if you go Josh, I think you have to give up Josh Allen from the 1 spot.
Yeah. Short of Josh Allen, if I see him maybe in the 5th round, I'll move. Because I have so many dang teams. Sure, I'll take him. I took Josh Allen in my 2nd draft, but I hated the team with my passion. I must have been the one that the Gambroder was talking about. It was a horrible team. It was a horrible team. I took McBride in the 4th, Josh Allen in the 3rd, and 2 running backs. And the 2 running backs were very good. I don't even remember where the hell they were. But then my wide receiver core was my number 1 was Devontae Adams, Josh Downs, who I like,
Michael
Yeah,
Wilson.
you got to hit on the wide
I
receiver.
mean, they have to hit. I mean, I have no outs. They have to hit. I have no outs. They have to come. They have to come through. So I already know that my first two teams, they're fallen soldiers. They're dead. I'm learning. You're learning. I mean, it takes time. And it took me 2 leagues to, get my act together. To start drafting.
Get the feel of
to get back in drafting mode. Yeah. So
Nice.
I think something I did this year that I've done in the past that I quit doing. I'll never do them again on anything. I quit drafting best ball. I said, I don't do no best ball.
nothing to do with it.
Ruined you.
Nothing
I
to do with it.
no more.
I don't know how many times the guy goes, dude, I redrafted like 80 best balls in underdog. I go, and I mean that does nothing for you. That does
I've
nothing.
done some on DraftKings just to prank, but I still draft them, Joe T. I still draft them like a redraft. I just give money away.
I call it lazy man's fantasy football. I mean,
It is lazy man's fantasy football, but what it does is I like it. Why I like it is because it's better than a mock draft.
Of course, yeah.
There's a grand prize.
Don't get me wrong. We're talking $10, $25. I mean,
yeah,
of course. I mean, the novice or that's fun. I mean, I get that's a lot of fun.
And it keeps you sharp. Like it keeps you like how you use the cue, how you're reading the Coleman list.
It
keeps the fundamentals of drafting sharp. It's not going to gain you an edge, because for the most part, it's weaker competition. It's a different game. Quarterbacks get pulled up.
It doesn't apply to high stakes fantasy football.
It's a lot different than.
To me, if I'm gonna spend money, but they don't feel this time of year, I'd rather do the $50 OC qualifier because they do third round reversal. It's like what we do, but they don't feel. That gives you a better idea of the sitting KDS.
Yeah,
let's prank with it. I just spend still about NFSC $25 best ball, just straight serpentine draft. It don't really help you. I mean, I don't think, but
the best. Well, like I said, it keeps you sharp in the draft room, and it gives you an idea of where people value.
Learn the player pool.
Yeah.
I mean, did you guys used to do mock draft central back in the day? I mean, I thought that was the greatest thing since sliced bread back in the day. To help me sharpen my skills for the money league. How far we've evolved.
Mock draft central was big.
Oh, it was big back in the day. Absolutely, it was big.
Yeah, I used it.
Yeah, I did too. I did all the time. Yeah, look who I drafted for free last night. On there, yeah.
I hadn't heard that in a long time, mock draft.
No,
I think something was talking about. I didn't bring this up, which Duke may have. I think Joe may remember. You remember the Roto Bowl back in the day?
I've heard of it. Yeah,
that ended up being the FFWC 350 when they went out of business. That used to be called Scout Online Championship. They had changed the name.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. But they took over the Roto Bowl, and that was their 350 going forward. That's where Roto Bowl went to.
Yeah, I did a few leagues with FFWC. I actually got second overall in the online championship like 5 or 6 years ago. But I got second overall, right? I won $5,000 for second overall. I mean, come on. I mean, come on. Yeah.
Best I ever did in their OC. I think I finished 15th overall one year. That was the DeMarco Murray year. He was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Steve D'Angelo did really good a couple of years back. I think he had a top 10 finish in one of their contests. But yeah, nice. Another 3-hour banger on Aces.
Oh yeah,
the marathon show. It used to be the Goat District show doing the 3.5 hours with Theo and Dan and JD. Now it's us. We're out here doing the 3-hour grinding sessions.
Love chopping it up with you guys. A lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
The chat's been good too.
Tomorrow night on the Fantasy Savvy YouTube channel, Steve's channel, we're gonna live stream an NFFC 350. Me and Frank Amaranti and Steve, we're all. I believe Steve's gonna be drafting. We're gonna be live streaming that. I believe Frank is going on Sirius with Tom as well after the draft. Next week on Aces Up, we have Matt Modica and Paul Spiteri will be joining us, and that's probably going to be a really fun show. Paul went out, he told me, he DM'd me, he's like, I'm going to clean up my act a little bit for you, buddy. And I said, you better fucking not.
No,
Aces Up. Yeah. Aces Up. There is no filter on my show. That's how we do it over here.
I love Paul. I love Paul's pet podcast. Very entertaining. I like it.
Yeah. Bring all that energy over to here. So we're going to talk some fantasy football, and we'll do it. We'll do it again. We're probably going to go. Maybe we'll go another 3 hours next week too. We'll see.
I'll be watching.
Yeah, we got some other good guests coming out too.
As Jay said, the Illuminati, man.
Yes, it is.
Got the Illuminati invading Aces Up. It's going to be a fun show. I'm really looking forward to it, to be honest with you. Great characters, really sharp fantasy dudes. Looking forward to that. Duke, appreciate you taking, spending 3 hours talking ball. This was great. Wish you luck on your poker tournament.
Thank you.
Play great poker, and the rest takes care of itself, I guess.
Sounds good, my friends. See you in the draft rooms next week to come for sure.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Joey, as always, appreciate you helping me out.
Yeah. Always.
Why don't you get some sleep? Get some sleep, man, so you don't have to call out sick tomorrow. Appreciate everybody.
Football money, so we'll work.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share it. All of that helps us out. We're going to get out of here. Duke, Joey, we're signing off. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Good night, everybody. We'll see you.
Peace out.